These are my money shoes. What are the money shoes? Well, today I'm about to start a webinar with you, and it is all about the most lucrative skill in the world, and that is speaking. My good friend Ed Rush and I are going to be presenting and sharing with you the 4 most lucrative types of speaking you can do. We're going to show you how to go out and get gigs right away, and in fact, we're also going to give you step-by-step scripts. I'm going to show you tactics that'll help you capture leads, and the bottom line is, in my opinion, speaking is minute for minute the best thing you can do to build and grow a business. Now, what you can expect in this webinar is in just a couple of moments, I'm going to play an intro video for you while Ed and I get prepared. And what I'd like you to do is introduce yourself in chat and also turn off all the distractions. We're going to be giving you a lot of really powerful information, and we're going to go through several case studies showing you some of our students who are making anywhere from $2,500 all the way up to $40,000. And many of them, in fact, all of them that we're going to be showing had no previous speaking experience at all. So get ready for this next presentation. And again, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you live, and what you do for a living. Here's that video, and I'll see you in just a moment.
I think Mike Koenigs is one of the most inspirational people I've ever seen.
He has an energy about him that is just infuses in you and just wants you to be the best who you want to be.
He's got this infectious smile and this nature about him. Yes, he's deadly serious and he really knows his stuff, but he's got this energy about him that makes you feel like, not only can I do it, but I want to do it. And he gives you that kind of energy.
He's just very sincere about wanting to help people.
The tools that Mike has brought to me have allowed me to revolutionize my business.
He has a vision for helping 1 million people to become millionaire entrepreneurs. That's going to change the whole world.
So today, I'm here to share with you, introduce to you a gentleman who's a dear friend of mine. He's helped me set up my studio and really helped me get going. He's been a dear friend, but more importantly, he's been a consultant to some of the biggest companies in the world. Here's a guy that started literally from nothing, but back in the early days of the web, back in 1991, most people forget, 1989 is when the World Wide Web really was created. So within a few years, he was already the guy that was, writing some of the first CD-ROMs games, that were out there. Did some of the first Mac games that existed for Macintosh. Went out and became the person that really, when the movie industry, was the guy that set up all those initial websites for Sony and for Columbia TriStar and for Fox. Was a guy that's managed or helped some of the largest business in the world, 3M, Domino's Pizza. But he's also shown people how to get started from nothing. And I know that's what he's probably most proud of.
Mike started his first business at 16, writing software. At 18, he became a computer programmer. Today, Mike's a millionaire.
We're going to tell you how to get off the grid the way the celebrities do. Mike Koenigs is here today. He's a film director, and he's put together this documentary called Life with Tesla.
Earning over $50 million online and helping more than 49,000 customers in 121 different countries, Mike Koenigs has influenced and advised business owners and entrepreneurs worldwide, helping them start, build, grow, and reinvent themselves in becoming experts, authorities, and best-selling authors and celebrities. He's interviewed, advised, and consulted some of the wealthiest and most influential business leaders, billionaires, and movie stars on the planet. For nearly 30 years now, Mike has brought celebrity-level marketing tools and his You Everywhere Now systems to entrepreneurs and businesses so that you can get you and your business found, seen, heard, watched, and read anytime, anywhere, and on any device. With the click of a button, you can leverage Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and YouTube's social network to build, grow, engage, and monetize your audience, following, and brand today. Mike built and sold his last 2 businesses to publicly traded companies. His most recent exit was selling Traffic Geyser and Instant Customer in October 2014. Mike's first company, Digital Cafe, was sold to the publicly traded Interpublic Group in 1999. Mike came from humble beginnings. He grew up lower middle class in Eagle Lake, Minnesota, a small town in southwest Minnesota, population 763. He's the oldest of 4 kids, and his dad was a barber. Mike taught himself how to program when he was 14 years old. He's been writing code, innovating, consulting, and advising business owners, CEOs, and celebrities since he was 16 years old. After 30 years as a serial entrepreneur, Mike Koenigs is an 11-time #1 best-selling author, international top-rated speaker, consultant, angel investor, host of his own TV show, and philanthropist who has raised over $2.4 million for the Just Like My Child Foundation and Girl Power Project, an organization that empowers the world's most vulnerable girls to have control and take control of their bodies, their education, their communities, and their future.
So I want to introduce to you Mike Koenigs, my dear friend. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tony. Hi, this is Mike Koenigs, and I want to talk to you today about how you can build an online business. Welcome. We are live. My name is Mike Koenigs.
My name is Ed Rush. Welcome to the show.
All right. This is so exciting. By the way, if you haven't noticed already, we've got a poll that is running, and I'm going to tell you what the results are in just a second. We're asking you what type of business you have. So as you're showing up with for us and with us today, know we're going to guide you step by step through how to get and close speaking deals, even if you've never done it before. And we're going to give you word for word scripts as well that are going to help you actually go out and close deals just with the information we're going to share with you today in the webinar.
Yeah, we're going to share some case studies of some of our students that have done it successfully. The bottom line is we're going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to, if you have no idea how to speak and it scares the dickens out of you, we're going to show you how to overcome that very quickly and connect with your audience. And if you've been doing it for years, like for example, one of our folks in chat said he's a certified speaking professional. So someone who's been doing that for a while, if you're experienced, seasoned pro, we're going to show you a couple of tips on how to make more, how to get the most value out of each of your speaking engagements, sell more products and coaching, and have a lot more fun.
Right on. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to tell you what the poll results are. In a moment, we're going to push a few more polls. This is actually pretty exciting. 42% of you are experts, authors, coaches, consultants, or speakers. Get this, 23% are a business that sells time appointments or services, and then 13% are online businesses, and then it's a sprinkling in between. But by far, we have an expert business. So I'm going to end that poll right now, but this is really good because Ed and I are going to tailor this presentation based upon what we believe you want and what you need. So thank you so far for that. That is very, very cool. The other person I need to introduce you to is Nicole Dauphinier. So Nicole, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. So good to be here. And I wish I had had the benefit of this program being a newscaster, because public speaking is something that can be learned and you get better with practice. So this is really cool. We're going to have fun today. And there's people from Belize, South Africa, even Russia. So everyone is representing. So welcome.
Awesome, awesome. So throughout the program today, Nicole's going to be stopping us periodically with your questions. Feel free to type in anything in chat as we move forward. My highest recommendation is that you get rid of distractions while you're watching us. Hopefully you're watching us on your computer so you can really take advantage of the chat and interact and engage with us.
Stay engaged. So Mike's going to go over and teach for a little bit. I'm going to stay engaged with you on chat, and then we're going to switch places. He's going to be engaged, so dial it in. This can be so helpful for you when you focus and clear away all the distractions and really take notes, because we're going to give you some golden nuggets here.
And I'd say feel free, Ed, to load up the next poll that we talked about here, but I'm going to begin and explain a little bit about what to expect and set the framework before we get into some of the how-tos. I promised you already, I'm going to share a couple really, really powerful tactics that I use to build and grow audiences and lists. And here's what I want you to understand is what's beautiful about what we're going to share with you is speaking is by far the most lucrative skill you will ever learn, and some of the case studies that we're going to be deconstructing today are going to illustrate just that. Some of them are actually watching us right now. So a few things that you can expect. First of all, I'm going to show you the fastest and most credible way to build your list and get more customers and clients. One great thing about speaking is it is much easier to close higher end, higher quality customers and clients, so you don't have to worry about having a big list, and in fact, you don't even have to be marketing online to successfully get speaking gigs. Now, Ed's going to share with you the 7 myths that have been holding you back and how to break through all 7 to make more money and help a lot of people. We're also going to share the 4 key ways to make money with your message. So we're going to deconstruct the various business models that surround speaking. And again, what's important about this is it'll work in any business, in any country, anywhere in the world, and we're going to show you how to shortcut and even get gigs. So, and speaking of that, we're going to show you how to book your first talk in the next 2 weeks. In fact, I would go so far as to say we're going to give you some free resources, some free strategies. Ed's going to go through the word-for-word scripts you can use. You could technically go out and book a gig as early as today, all right? And also, Ed's going to show you and give you the exact scripts on how to book 2 more talks right after that. This alone is absolutely ingenious. I wish I would have come up with it, but I got to give Ed all the credit, and the exact steps to connect with any meeting planner in any niche and get booked to speak. And again, Ed and I are going to show you exact locations where you can get those resources in this presentation. And you'll also get how to be fun and funny on stage or on camera, even if you don't think you're funny, how to build a speaking platform that attracts high-paying gigs, and the word-for-word scripting for dealing with every question from a meeting planner and how to get paid top dollar for every speech. This is really important. I'd say it's where most people screw up because A, if you're just getting started out, they lack the courage and confidence, or if you're at a place where you've been speaking and maybe getting paid $500 or a couple $1,000 and you haven't broke through the $5,000, $10,000 or larger space, Ed's language patterns are exactly what you want and what you need. And a bonus for sticking around. So make sure you get prepared for this. We are going to give you a link to get our slideshow and our presentation. So for some reason, you're not keeping up because we are going to move along quickly to get through all this material. You have nothing to worry about. So Ed, I just want to check in. Have you pushed another poll?
Yeah, so we pushed the poll on speaking. And the answers were interesting. So about 59% of you said that you haven't really done a lot of speaking. About 14% said maybe a couple times a year. Mm-hmm. And then the other 30% are kind of split between 3 all the way up to 10. For example, I answered 10 plus. I'm not sure if we're supposed to answer our own polls, but I did it anyway. Right. But this is great. And so if you have never spoken before, and in fact, if you're terrified about the idea of standing up on stage, we're going to show you how one of our students went out and is speaking to groups of 12 people and is closing deals between $25,000 and $40,000. And so it's okay to start small, and we're going to show you how to open the door to get comfortable speaking and how to overcome stage fright. And then once you get there, to start building your business and closing more deals.
Bam. All right. So I'm going to continue on. And I'd like to ask you this question, which is, what would it be like to command the attention of crowds? Because here's the bottom line. When you are a speaker, people treat you like you are a rock star. When I'm talking about speaking, I'm also talking about webinars as well. So we're technically, Ed and I are speaking today. We're tag teaming with you to illustrate this. And also just being able to help more people. I would say this is singularly the most satisfying skill I've ever learned or done. And also have a long line of raving fans asking for your autograph. Because again, people treat you differently. They are willing to pay you more money when they see you on stage. And once you get a speaking gig, you build momentum. And again, if you're worried right now and thinking to yourself, well, I don't know how, just put that aside. Don't worry about the how so much. Ed's going to give you all the scripts. But also being able to sell more products, coaching, or consulting just because of who you are. And again, what is very, very important about this, it is easier to close multiple people and sell multiple people at a time as a speaker than it is to do it one-on-one. It's significantly more efficient. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pass control over to Ed Rush. He's going to guide you through a framework, a systemized way of thinking, and then we're going to get into the tactics, the specific how-tos, the scripts, the hows. I'm going to share with you how to capture leads, how to build an audience, build a list, and more importantly, how to monetize that. So take it away, Ed.
All right, so thanks, Mike. Question for you is this: what do you do when your $40 million jet is completely out of control? I want to start today's training with that because we're going to lay the foundation on a term or an idea on how to move forward when it comes to speaking. Again, if you've never done this before or if you're experienced, I want to lead you down the road to success and show you how I failed kindergarten and showed you how a person who failed kindergarten can take these tools and actually earn 7 figures from the stage and how you can too. But I'm going to take you back to my time in the cockpit flying these planes, F-18s, and every pilot, I don't care who you are, I don't care how long it's been since they flew, knows one procedure from heart. And actually that procedure is up on the board here. In the F-18, look, I haven't flown this airplane since 2006, but I can tell you from memory that procedure goes like this: controls release, feet off rudder, speed brake and installer control, throttles out, idle, altitude, AOA, airspeed, and yaw rate check, and recovery indicated by AOA and yaw rate, tones move, side forward, subsided, airspeed, accelerator above 108 knots, recover, passing 6,000 feet, AGL dive, recovery not initiated, eject. Okay, that is the procedure in the F-18, and there's a reason I have that memorized, because when you are falling to the ground at about 20,000 feet per minute, which you are in an airplane that's out of control. You don't have time to read the procedures manual. You just have to do things from memory. In fact, we would go into briefs as pilots and have to recite that procedure from memory, or else we wouldn't even be able to fly that day. And so one day I was flying with a very young student. I was a senior instructor flying F-18s in the Marine Corps, and I was flying in a mission against this young man. I was trying to teach him a thing or two about fighting, and the best way that I could describe this is I was trying to execute a maneuver we could call it's called in the airplane a double Immelman, where you do one half loop and then another half loop. And if I was able to execute this perfectly against this young student, I would have won the day, okay? And here's what we do. We typically do our maneuvers, and then the other airplane's turning, and we come back down and we start shooting what are called simulated missiles. So like an AIM-9 with a Sidewinder, which you're probably familiar with from the movie Top Gun. Okay, so as I was doing this, as I was thinking through all of the maneuvers and how I was gonna close down on this person, and I was going to shoot simulated missile at him. What happened actually in my airplane at the same time was I began to run out of airspeed and ideas at exactly the same time while my airplane was pointed directly up. Now, when you are flying in an F-18, incredible flight controls, but when you're flying with no airspeed at all, you're not flying anymore. You're falling. And I found myself falling to the ground very rapidly. I looked up at my heads-up display. I saw that I was about 20,000 feet above the Sea of Japan, where I was flying that day. I looked up at my heads-up display again, and I saw that I was falling at about 20,000 feet per minute in a completely out-of-control F-18. Now, what do you do when you're in an out-of-control airplane and you have about a minute to live? You ever seen the movie Top Gun? Remember how Maverick and Goose are kind of yelling back and forth in the cockpit? Do you just make some things up? Do you start moving the stick and the rudder and everything, all of them? No. Here's what you do. You execute the procedure. You do the steps. Look, test pilots have died trying to come up with the best procedure to get out of an airplane that's out of control, and it works every time. And so what I did in the cockpit that day is I executed the procedure step by step by step, and sure enough, my airplane recovers itself about 6,000 feet over the Sea of Japan. A very nervous, but a very alive pilot, understanding now for probably the very first time the importance of systems, the importance of plans, the importance of formulas. So let's bring it to you. When a meeting planner calls you, and somebody out of the blue finds your website, they see your book, they hear about you, or maybe you've emailed them and they call you, they're going to ask a series of questions. And I'm going to give you actually those series of questions in just a minute so that you can write them down. There's two different kinds of speakers. One kind of speaker just starts to answer those questions based on whatever they feel like at the moment. And there's another kind of speaker that has a system, a way of answering and asking questions back that gets max value out of each engagement, and then gets follow-on bookings, okay? And I want to remind you, I failed kindergarten, okay? So I'm not the kind of person that likes to just make things up on the fly. I'm not the kind of person that necessarily is trying to trust my own intellect to be able to get this thing done. I want to follow a formula. So when I started speaking, like 10, 11 years ago, I knew that I had to develop a system because I wasn't making any money, but then I went on to do really well because of the system and the formula. And what we're going to share today really is breaking down a system for success. The same system that led me into the cockpit in the F-18 actually took me into combat and then put me up on stage, having made now at this point over $5 million from the stage. And again, I'm the guy that failed kindergarten, okay? So we're going to break down the steps step by step so that you can follow them, you have no problem at all, and so that you can move forward as a speaker. Because here's the thing, making money as a speaker is one thing, but helping people is another thing. And that's really the motivation I'm sure that you're here with, is you have a product or a service or a message and you want to change the world. I mean, there's some times when I walk up on stage, I don't care what happens financially, I want people to be motivated and inspired, dedicated. I want them to walk out of the room ready to change the world. And that's why you're here. You want to have take your message and change the world with it, but we need to get the tools down and the system down, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So first before you hit that really the first point, which is this. Grab a pen and write this down. There are 3 stages for any speaker. When you start out speaking, 58% of you said you were just getting started. So when you start out speaking, you're going to start out in a stage that I call aw shucks, okay? This is the stage when you're actually pretty good as a speaker. You don't think you're very good, but you're actually pretty good because you're just kind of yourself. You've kind of making a couple of mistakes here and there. You're just being you. You're not perfectly polished, but you're just sharing from the heart, and people really like it. Now, the next stage is the dangerous stage. This is called the karaoke speaker. This is like if you've ever gone to an event and you see the guy who's not Tony Robbins, but he looks like Tony Robbins. Have you seen speakers like that? Or you see somebody who's not Les Brown, but talks and looks and moves exactly like Les Brown? Okay, this is a karaoke speaker. This is someone who is not himself or not herself, which is the third stage to come to, which is this. Just be yourself. This is the most important thing when it comes to speaking. And listen, my speaking skyrocketed when I just stood up on stage and I started being me. It was at this moment, by the way, that all my stage fright, all my fear went away. I'm going to give you a tool in just a minute on how to break through all of your stage fright. But this is the key right here. The thing about it is when you walk up on stage, here's what the audience only wants. They just want you. And so if you and I were just talking, having a normal conversation, you wouldn't get nervous, you wouldn't be apprehensive, you wouldn't prepare your answers, you would just talk with me. You would be yourself. And if you could just be yourself in front of 12 people, 50 people, 100 people, or even 200 people, you will be amazing as a speaker. Listen, if you're afraid or you don't know what to say or what to teach, don't worry about that. Remember, I'm the guy that failed kindergarten. We're going to take you by the hand. We're going to lead you step by step. This is a system. You don't need to be a fighter pilot. You just need to follow the steps. So grab a pen, get free of all distractions, and start writing this stuff down, because we're going to show you one of the most important things, which is in the speaking world, the demand is far more than the supply. So right now you may be sitting there thinking, I don't even know how I'm going to get it booked. I have an idea what I'm going to speak. I don't even know where to start. We're going to show you where to start, but I want to show you some numbers just to inspire you. Think about this for a second. According to Meeting Planners International, this is the organization that runs meetings all around the world. About 1.8 million meetings and events occur in the United States alone. That's 280 billion with a B dollars in spending, $115 billion contribution to gross domestic product, a whole bunch of taxes, $66.8 billion in labor income for people bringing chairs and tables and food in and out. This industry, check this out. Meetings and events contribute more to the GDP in America than the air transportation, motion picture, sound recording, performing, and spectator sports, each one of those. Think about that. Think about this industry, how big it is, how much money there is, and how little piece you're getting right now, and how much bigger of a piece you could be getting, which is why we say that speaking is, simply put, the most efficient way to get customers and leads. The most efficient way to do it. So if you've been struggling and trying to do it online and offline, I'm going to show you ways. In fact, we're going to show you very quickly one of the key ways that you can just generate leads from every speaking event. And the cool thing about that, the reason it works so well is because when you speak, people know you, they like you, they trust you. Look, if they come to your website, they're not too sure, but when they see you speak, they love you, they like you, they trust you. And when you stand up on stage, no matter who you are, they perceive you as an authority. That's why we say that speaking, we believe, is the fastest way to make money, build your credibility, or build your brand. Not only is it the most valuable skill, we believe, but also the most lucrative skill on earth. Think about it just for a minute. Just think about this. Think about every entrepreneur, influencer, every person you know, and now think about this for a moment. What do they all have in common? And here it is. They speak. Okay, Mike, take us into some of our celebrities.
Okay, and before I do that, one of the things that I'm going to share with you is, Ed, we got the reports in from our last poll. This is really, really interesting. So, 21% of you are selling products $2,000 to $5,000.
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, which is awesome. That is an easy range to spend. And then 15% in the 10,000. Let's see, actually, 5,000 to 10,000, and then 9% in the 10,000 to 20,000, and then 11% in the $20,000 plus category. Now we've got, on the lower end, like 9% in the 3 to 600. Here's what's really important. We're going to give you, again, access to some huge speaking opportunities. In fact, Ed and I were just on the phone yesterday. We have an opportunity to speak in front of how many people again?
There's 10 to 12,000 people coming to the event.
Bam, okay.
And even their breakout sessions are 1,000 to 3,000 person events.
So here's what that means is, in the past, I didn't even know what we're about to share with you today. In fact, a couple of things I just learned 3 days ago. So the information we're about to share with you on the where and the how is really up to date. So I'm going to do one more category just to get you in the right frame of mind, just to illustrate the point. I know you're already convinced, but this will get it even further. And this little video clip here, this is a Tony Robbins event I just took my son to, and he had 14,000 people in the audience. But just look at it. Author, speaker, creator, advisor, media master. What do all these people have in common? Tim Ferriss. Every single one of these people, Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, they're speakers. Ty Lopez, if you know him from online, speaker. My friend Dave Asprey from Bulletproof Coffee, speaker. Okay, JJ Virgin, speaker. Again, everyone seems to get their footing. They build their brand on someone else's platform. So if you want to grow a brand, you want to speak. And in my experience, these are some photos. As you start speaking, the audiences grow, the access you get grows. And more importantly, what winds up happening is opportunities slip in sideways that show up in front of you. So I believe the whole notion of building celebrity and influencer status is triggered more by speaking than anything else out there. So I'm going to tell you one brief story of something that just happened to me not long ago. I had met Jordan Belfort, and whether you love him or hate him, he's the guy who the movie The Wolf of Wall Street was based on. And one day, I got a call from Jordan, and this is not an unusual call, but the call is simply, "Hey Mike, what are you doing tomorrow?" And again, just to frame this a little bit, I've provided advice and support to Jordan over the years, which he's implemented, and he is an awesome implementer, and he is a remarkable salesperson. So again, whether you question his ethics or his background is one thing, but what's important is his skills are incredible. So he gives me this call. He says, "Mike, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "I don't know. Jordan, what do you got?" And he said, "I want you to come up to Vancouver and speak on my stage tomorrow. You can sell whatever you want. You can keep all the money, and I'll have you home by midnight." And I go, "How's that possible?" He says, "Private jet leaving tomorrow morning at Long Beach, legs up at 7:30. I'll have you back by midnight." Well, what are you going to say to that? The reason I'm sharing this with you again is the more you speak, the more access you're going to get to bigger and more influential people who are going to start calling you, more opportunities, and it becomes easier and easier to sell. It increases your courage and confidence as well. So also, if you want to speak at TED, obviously getting your speaking skills moving. Brene Brown, for example, got her start on TED. Simon Sinek built a huge brand on TED. And if you want to sell more books, you want to speak. And if you want to sell more products and help more people, you want to speak. Steve Jobs helped create what is now the most valuable company in the world. You look at Oprah, one of the richest women in the world, okay? Sir Richard Branson, also one of the richest. They're all speakers. Elon Musk is another one. So also, just again, to provide clarity, when we say speaking, that means webinars, webcasts, doing teleseminars, even converting your speech into a book or your book into a speech and building on top of that. It all begins and ends with being able to publicly speak. So what Ed's going to do right now is he's going to take you through the 7 myths. When he comes back, I'm going to guide you through a couple tactics that will help you build and grow your audience so you can monetize it quickly. And then we're going to roll it up into how you're going to monetize and make this money with some great case studies that you'll be able to model, use, and implement yourself. So take it away, Ed.
Yeah, just a really great point right there at the end too, which is when you're speaking, it's not just being on stage. For example, what we're doing right now, we consider speaking on a webcast or a webinar or a teleseminar. We're going to show you a case study from one of our coaching members named Wes Matea, who actually closed over $100,000 in a morning. And all he did, you'll see this is very basic. He looked at a camera on his computer and he talked to his camera, and then he sent his video to about 12 people, okay? And so we're going to show you all the different ways that you can use what we consider speaking, wrap the package around all those different things so that you can further your brand and grow your business and have a lot more fun and help a lot more people. All right, so we're going to break down some myths, and the reason we need to do this is because there's things that have been holding you back from speaking. And let's just be honest, you should be up on stage, you should be on a webcast, you should be on a video, but there's some reason. There's a reason why you're not out there as much as you are. And there are other people that are. And so there's other people in your niche or market that frankly probably don't teach or have as good information or products or services as you do, but they're outselling you because of the things that might be holding you back. So let's just get rid of these. These are just things that you've been told or some typical lies or barriers. Let's just break all these down. The first one we're going to talk about actually is the stage fright issue, which I get it from a lot of folks, even some of the most talented, some of the most brand connected people that I know. They get a little bit nervous when they stand up on stage. And I'll tell you, I've been speaking for about 12 years professionally. I did it for another 12 years before that when I was in the Marine Corps. And for the first maybe 5 years when I was speaking, I got nervous. Okay, I'll be perfectly honest. Like I'd get excited about a speaking event. So someone would book me to speak. I'd be like, this is great. I'm getting paid $5,500 to go to Nebraska to talk to a group of people. This is going to be amazing. But I would be standing there just as the person was getting ready to introduce me, or I'd wake up that morning and I'd feel a little nervous. In fact, I found myself in a place that I didn't particularly like, which was this. As I was going into my talk, I would think, man, I can't wait to get this over. because when I'm done, I won't be nervous anymore. And that, frankly, is not a very good place to be when you're walking up on stage. And so I knew I needed to conquer this. I knew I needed to figure out a different way to approach this. And I'm here to tell you that I've not been nervous, and I've stood and spoken in front of hundreds and thousands, okay? But when I speak now, I don't get nervous at all. It doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter the event. There's no nervousness, there's no butterflies, and it's because of this one thing. What I realized is the conscious mind can only focus on one thing at a time. And so I could choose either to think about myself before I went on stage, or I could think about my audience. So what I started to do just before I spoke is I would just take a minute or two and I would just stop. I would close my eyes and I would think about the people that I was speaking to. So like I would think about you, for example, before this webinar. And I would think about, what were they thinking about when they woke up this morning? What were they thinking about when they went to bed last night? What are the big issues that are on your mind? What are the biggest challenges that you're having in business? What are the frustrations that you're having? What are maybe the concerns or the uncertainty that you're having in your life or your business? I would sit backstage and I would think about my audience. I would think about you. I would think about the issues and the concerns and the cares and all the things that were going through your mind. And what I found was when I was thinking about my audience, I was thinking about you, all that nervousness would go away because I wasn't thinking about me, I was thinking about them. And that's the moment I realized that stage fright is actually a subtle form of selfishness. It really is. I know that sounds really rough to say that, but I realized, man, the reason I got afraid is because I was thinking about me and I wasn't thinking about them. So very simply, the next time you get ready to get up on stage, all I want you to do is spend 10 minutes or so just thinking about your audience and really connecting with them. And I'm telling you, when you get up on stage, they're going to love you and they're not going to know why. They're just going to think you're great, and it's because you really care about them. Okay, so first tip right there. Second one is this. People will say, I get it, Ed. I would love to go speak and build my list, but I don't even know what I want to talk about. I don't really consider myself an expert. Listen, that's not a problem. You're saying that now because you're watching me, okay? And you're watching Mike and you're listening to our content. But when it comes to your content, you've got great stuff. So for example, if I was to pull you aside at a cocktail party, I was just going to say, tell me more about what you do. Tell me who you do it for. Tell me how you share your message with the world, or tell me what your product or service or your consulting or your coaching, okay, or your business or your health coaching or relationship coaching or whatever it is, tell me how it changes people's lives. And I said, you know what, tell me a story. Why don't you tell me another story about someone who you've helped? You would start telling story after story after story. You'd have 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours. If I just kept asking you questions, you would just keep answering my questions. See, you've got it inside of you. It's just that you haven't gotten it drawn out yet. In a moment, I'm going to show you how we outline talks and how you can start to draw some of that content out. Okay, but that's not a problem. Listen, you might not consider yourself an expert. When you stand up on stage, though, people will start to consider you an expert. All you simply need to do is draw that out. Okay? Another question we get is this. Hey, I got it, but I don't know how to get speaking deals, or I don't know how to get out there and speak. Well, the first thing that you need to remember is there's more meetings than there are speakers. So for example, right now in your neighborhood or in your town, if you were to go to the website called meetup.com, just type that, not now, don't get distracted, but after the show's over here today, go to your website, type in meetup.com, and just look for something like what you do. So if you're a health coach, look at health or dieting. If you're in business, look for business meetups. If you're in, for example, the insurance or financial services, look for networking for business professionals. You will probably find 10 meetings tonight, okay, on something like your topic, someplace in your town. Now, these aren't typically 200 people, 500 person type of events. They're 12 to 50 usually, but it's a place to start. And guess what every single one of those people need? They need speakers. They need someone to come in and share their content. Now, will you get paid $1 million to do that? Probably not. Will you get a client out of it? You might, but here's what you're gonna do. We have a simple rule that goes like this. Every talk gets 2 talks, okay? And so we have a way of asking questions, and I'll tell you where it comes in the particular time when I get to the point about speaking and getting paid, okay? But there is a particular time in your discussion when you will simply talk to the meeting planner and say something like, they'll say how great you are, and then you'll say, listen, I love to do this is a passion of mine, and I was wondering if we could brainstorm maybe 1 or 2 people that also have meetings that might benefit from what I do. A very simple question. You can just write that down, what I just said, or go back in the recording sometime later on, okay, and listen to this. But the point there is every talk gets 2 talks. And what you'll find is you're going to speak to 12 people, then 50 people, then 100 people, then 150 people. And next thing you know, you're not even going to know where all the customers came from because you're growing your speaking business simply by asking questions. Okay? Another one of the myths we get is I don't want to sound pitchy and I don't want to sound salesy. Like I don't want to be that guy or that gal out there that's sort of like schlepping products. I get a lot of speakers who've been around for a long time. Those folks who've been a part of big speaking associations who are like, yeah, but I don't really want to sound, like I'm pitching or schlepping my products. And the best way that I can describe this is the difference between a trade show booth and someone waiting in line to get their book signed. So think about it this way: if you were, let's say you go to a big event, 3,000 or 4,000 person event, you walk through that trade show area. Like when you walk through a trade show area, you get like candy shoved in your face. You're getting a bunch of business cards stuck in your face. There's people like, come on over here, or let's take your name. And you're like, I don't want to talk to anybody, okay? That's not I don't hang out in trade show areas, okay? But I want you to imagine this for a moment. Let's say you walk through the trade show area, okay, and you walk into the event room. And let's say, theoretically, in the trade show area, there's somebody there that sells some sort of software solution to a problem. You walk right by them, you don't even want to talk to them. But you get in there, and there's a speaker that stands up on stage, and she's amazing. And she's really good at what she does. And she gets off stage, and she shakes your hand, and you get to know each other a little bit, and you're telling her about her business, and her business partner's right next to her, and they both go, hey, would you mind coming to dinner with us? We'd love to just talk to you and get to know your business a little more. Now, this person just came off stage and you're like, oh yeah, I'd definitely come to dinner with you. And next thing you know, you're sitting at dinner. Now, what theoretically would happen if that person was also the person that ran that software company? You'd be a lot more interested in their services. And the reason why is because when you are up on stage, you're perceived as an authority. You're perceived as a expert. You're perceived, as Dan Kennedy once said, as a welcome guest and not an annoying pest. And so if you don't want to sound salesy or pitchy or pushy, the way to do it is speaking, because speaking is the way that people come to you. And remember, speaking can be webcasts or webinars or talking into a camera to share on video, okay? Which brings me to myth number 6, which is this: oh yeah, but people won't think I'm funny, okay? People might think I'm boring. And so Mike, you got a couple tips to share on how to be interesting and funny on camera.
I do, but first, we just finished our poll, because one of the things that happened while you were speaking, Ed, is I ran a poll and I asked, what do you speak about? Now, I've given you access to all the results. Pretty interesting. 29% business and money, 21% health, fitness, nutrition. We have some others there, but you can kind of see that that's where the majority are. So really interesting data so far. We're going to have a couple more polls for you as we move forward, but I'm going to go through the I'm boring or not funny bit. And I know what it's like, because oftentimes when you're starting out, you're building your structure. You're like, well, how am I going to structure something? How am I going to keep their attention and get their attention? Well, first of all, how to be funny and make an audience laugh can be super easy, which is some funny stories. Now, historically, the way comedy used, the old days, there used to be one joke and one-liners. All the comedians out there that are really big are telling stories. And it's because it works better. It's something that's vulnerable, authentic, that happened to you, that gets the customer or the audience to relate to you, always works great, okay? But the other one that's really, really simple, and I brought it up here, this is where I get my quotes that I put both in my speeches and my books, but just grab something from a Brainy quote, okay? So there's images up here, you can copy paste, or as long as you provide attribution, but I use those quotes, and as long as you're providing attribution, they are free to use, okay? The other thing that is super easy, go out and find some funny book covers, okay? Here's one, Still Stripping After 25 Years. It's a quilting book, okay? Here's another one, Poo Gets Stuck. You can make a poop joke without it being a poop joke. Another one is Everything I Want to Do is Illegal. But it just creates some lightheartedness. And I know one speaker that does this all the time is Jack Canfield, okay? So as we move on to the 7th, which is I don't know how to make money speaking. And you're going to really like this because, again, Ed's going to break it down for you, and then we're going to be deconstructing the various ways to make money. And again, we've got some case studies for you. We're going to talk about step by step how they do it, and also the sources on where to get and close deals, and also how to script when you're doing that. So get ready to get your pens ready for this. Ed Rush?
Yeah, so some of the scripting is going to come fairly quickly. I'm going to write some of it actually on the board behind me, so we'll see that. But what I want to do now is just really break down the way to make money. And I'll just tell you, there's a lot of reasons to speak. You might want to share a message. You might want to connect with an audience, build leads. You might just want to get across something like a legacy that you've been wanting to tell, the story of your dad or your parents or some member of your family, there's a lot of reasons to do it. But the one I'm going to talk about right now is really how to make money. And the reason why I do this is because if you show me a speaker that doesn't make money, I'll show you someone who's going to have to do something else so that they can speak. But if you show me a speaker who gets paid and actually gets paid checks or gets paid for their products or their coaching or their books, I'll tell you somebody who can speak all the time. And so if you want to share your message or you really want to connect with an audience, the way to do it is to build a business around this. And let me tell you, just from experience, I've gone and spoken to events at events for free, and I've gone and got paid $12,000 or more to go speak at events and made hundreds of thousands of dollars in certain events selling products. Let me just tell you, all things being equal, the people that pay you to come in, they treat you really well. The people that don't, they don't, okay? So if you want to get treated well when you come in and speak, it's also a good idea to make money. So this is cookie cutter type stuff. Again, I'm going to give you a checklist. I'm going to show you how I do it. I give you some word for word things to say when meeting planners call, and then you can talk to them over the phone, okay? And there's 4 ways. And so what I want you to do is just grab a pen and write these down. I'm going to walk through each of these 4. We've also got some students that have been really successful at doing certain ones of these that we're going to tell you their stories very quickly just to show you what's possible. It's one thing for Mike and I to say, here's how you do it. We've been doing it for a while and we're very experienced and have done really well with speaking, but it's another thing to see how someone started from scratch and then they went and became successful. Okay, so the first one is getting paid checks. I'm going to break each one of these down individually, but just grab a pen and write these down. These are your 4 columns, and then I'm going to give you things to write in under each of the columns. The second one is getting paid or selling products or services. This is when you get up on stage and either at the end of your talk or during your talk, you mention something that you or your business does, and it gives people an opportunity to sign up with you. Okay, the next one would be to sell coaching or to seed coaching or consulting. In other words, you give a talk and then they come up to you afterwards to see how they can be a client. Okay, and then the last one is to sell books or to talk about your books and get those. And those are the 4 ways, if you talk to any speaker that makes money while they're speaking, it's going to be one of those 4. Now, the important thing is you're going to pick one. This is key. To be a successful speaker, you don't have to do all of them. Mike and I certainly have, over the course of our career, done every single one of those, and I still do. But you right now start with one. So maybe you just want to go get paid and get checks. Maybe you want to get $2,500 or $5,000 or $7,500 to go down to the hotel in your local area to a meeting that's there and to come back in and 2 hours at home with another check for $5,000 or $7,500 sharing your message. Okay, that's possible. I do that here in San Diego, but I want you to pick one, and as I go through them, I want you to see what's possible. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is speak and get paid checks. Now, I'm going to go back to the event industry. There is a huge industry, 1.8 billion meetings with about $280 billion in revenue every single year. Meeting planners are out there, and they're absolutely looking for you. Okay, so there's meeting planner groups out there, and they're always looking for speakers. I know some of the biggest meeting planners in the world, and they always seem to ask, do you know anybody else? Is there any other speakers that you might know about? Are there people that you might be able to refer to me or bring to me? Okay, and so the meeting planners are out there looking for you. Now, it's very common when you think about the meeting planning industry for a speaker to think about corporations, and that's one of the ones, but I'm going to talk through some of the other ones. So I'm going to walk over to the whiteboard real quick, and I'm going to just show you or just break down some of the ways that you can get paid checks. So corporations are certainly one of those. So these are companies like IBM and AT&T and other companies. Like I went and spoke for GE once to their top salespeople, so like 50 salespeople, and they paid me really well to come in and just speak to their top salespeople. So when it comes to corporations, a general range of what you might want to look at in terms of what they will pay a speaker to come in is about $5,000 up to say about $30,000. Now, there are some corporations that are paying $80,000, $100,000, $400,000 for like former presidents and celebrities. But for a speaker like you and me, somebody coming in to speak and share a message, it's typically going to end up being in about the $5,000 to $30,000 range. Now, these ranges are important because if you're a brand new speaker, let's say your fee is $2,500. Well, if you quote $2,500 to a corporation that's used to paying $10,000, $15,000 or $20,000, they will probably not hire you because your price or your fee is too low. Okay, so in a moment I'm going to talk to you about how to speak to a meeting planner, but there's just a general range. Now, the next category, so this is where most speakers, when they think about the speaking world, this is where most speakers start. The next category is the association market. And these are folks all across the world that run associations. And I got to tell you, in my opinion, this is absolutely one of the most lucrative niches, which is the association market. So I want to tell you a story. Back in 2008, I got a phone call from from a hospital association. Okay, one of the state hospital associations right in the Midwest, and they called and said, "Hey, we're the Kansas Hospital Association, and we'd like you to come in and speak, and we'd like to pay you." And I said, "Well, I'd like to let you do that." Okay, so we negotiated a fee, which was acceptable to me and acceptable to them, and I went and spoke to this hospital association. When I got there, it turns out I didn't know this at the time. I gave my talk, and then the guy came up to me. It wasn't Kansas, but it was another one of the states. But the guy came up to me and he said, "Wow, that was really great. I'd like to tell some of our other associations about you." And I said, "Well, I'd like to let you do that." And he went and he told the other hospital associations. Now, you can bet if there's a Kansas Hospital Association, there's one of those for every single state, okay? And he went and told the other states about me, and I got booked over the next few years for 12 of those associations. It turned into about $70,000 worth of revenue for me and my business because I went and spoke to one association. So one of the reasons I love, like, there's hospital associations, there's doctors associations. We got a whole bunch of slides coming up here. I'm talking about, like, there's everything you could possibly imagine across America. There are associations, but a lot of the associations have sub-associations that work, okay? So again, associations are typically going to pay you someplace in the $5,000 to $30,000 range. Again, these are folks that have a budget to bring you in to speak, all right? And so if you're on the phone with them, you can assume that they're going to pay you and that they have paid speakers in the past, all right? Now, let's go down a notch, but to one of the most lucrative speaking areas also, which is the college speaking area. I have friends of mine who get paid someplace in the $2,000 to say around $5,000 range to speak at colleges. You go into a school, the local community college or the local college that's in your area, bring speakers in all the time. And there's people on those campuses that bring in and book speakers, okay? So there's residential life, there's campus life, there's deans of students that bring speakers in. And they're always looking for people like you that can go back and talk to the college students. Are you kidding me? You can go talk to college students, get paid $2,000 to $5,000 with your message. And then, guess what? High schools. You wouldn't believe this, okay? One of my good friends, one of the best speakers I know, actually goes and speaks high schools. He'll do 3 high schools in a day. Now, high schools aren't going to pay you $5,000 to come in and speak, but there are budgets at high schools, and there's budgets at the higher school board, okay, that'll pay you anywhere from $500 to about $2,500 per speech, and you could do 2 or 3 of those high schools a day. Okay, the point here is you don't have to go and pick one. The point is there's a lot of places out there that will bring you in and teach you to speak. The place to start, I already told you. So if you already speak, start to look at some of these places at how you can get people to come to you or talk to some of these meeting planners. If you haven't done any at all, like I said, go to meetup.com or go to one of your local networking groups. Okay, and go in there and speak. First of all, they're going to have you come in and speak. Okay, they barely say no to anyone. And you're going to go in and you're going to wet your chops a little bit, and you're going to get some feedback, and you're going to get 2 more talks from that, and then you're going to get 2 more talks from that, and you're going to get 2 more talks from that. Okay, so that's anything for our polls or chat or anything before I get into.
This is really good. I ran a poll just a moment ago just to ask what kind of products and services are being sold. And so 16% services and time. Then we have digital products, speaking and paid speaking. Overall, 48% were all or some of the above. So it just goes to show that there's a blended approach. And and 9% were books. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But I think we're moving along, and what I'd encourage you to do is if you have any questions that you want Ed and I to do, we're going to batch them up all at once. It's because I think we are doing a pretty good job, and we will of predicting the kinds of questions you're going to ask. We'll most likely cover them, but we're going to answer those. When you submit your questions, make sure you type it in and mark it as being Q&A. It's one of the things that happens in chat. And we'll be pushing some more polls out to you just to keep you engaged and also ask you some questions so we can adjust our material for you. So with that, I know there was one thing that you had. Go ahead.
So I'm just going to go back to my slides real quick and just kind of go through. We're going to use there we go. So very quickly, when we're talking about speaking and getting paid checks, I'm just going to give you a checklist. In fact, for each of these, I'm going to give you a little bit of a checklist to think about some things. I want to break it down very simply for you. So the first thing you're going to do is just create a simple 10-minute talk. Sometimes 60-minute talks, hour and a half, get a little bit overwhelming. Create a 10-minute talk, okay? I'm going to give you the outline for that 10-minute talk when we get into the Q&A segment at some point. But the bottom line is this. I want you to tell a story about yourself. Then I want you to teach 1 or 2 points about what you typically teach. If you can, use examples from people that you've worked with, and then do what's called a close. You tell people how they can get more information. Just a very simple talk. Okay, then speak locally. Again, try to find local deals. You can usually get a bunch of deals and clients from there, and then make sure every speaking deal gets you 2 more. Now, I want you to just imagine for a minute. Just picture this in your mind. I want you to imagine that it's just a couple colleges and high schools and maybe one association, but let's assume that you get one of those a month and it's just $2,000. Now think about that for a second. $2,000 the first month, then it's 4, then it's 6, then it's 8. By the end of the year, you've made another $24,000 doing nothing more than going out to speak for 10 to 60 minutes and sharing a message that you'd share for free. An extra $24,000. Imagine what you do with that. Pay off some debt, buy a car, or I don't know, buy a nicer house, or whatever it is that you want to help a charity, whatever it is that you want to do, it's possible, but you need to just get out there and start to do it. Okay, now let's just break this down real quick, and I'm just going to share with you what I consider the 4 speaker money moments. Again, I've got way more on this. I want to just give you some good nuggets that you can execute right now. Okay, and there's 4. There's 4 money moments as a speaker when you're making getting paid checks or getting paid fees. And these are not even in the talk. They're before and after the talk. So the first and most important money moment is the discovery call. That's when you and a meeting planner are on the phone. And when you're on the phone with them, look, I've had hundreds and hundreds of these calls. I'm going to tell you the 3 questions they ask all the time. First, they're going to ask the date of their event and does it work for you. The second thing they're going to ask is what your fee is. And the third thing they're going to ask is, tell me about your talk. Those are the 3 questions I can flat out guarantee you will get asked in that order every single time a meeting planner calls you. And how you answer these questions has a lot to do with whether or not you're going to get booked. Like, remember I said, if you say you're a $2,500 speaker and they're expecting $5,000, you're not going to get the talk. And so how you answer that question, like typically what I'll do is I don't even answer the question. I usually just toss it back to them with something like, they'll say, what's your fee? And I say, well, my fee is dependent on the kind of event that you're having. So tell me a little bit more about your event. What have you paid keynote speakers in the past? And I'll just ask that question and they'll say, I don't know, we've usually paid between $5,000 and $7,000. And then I just heard the number $7,000 and I know what to charge. My point is you need to know how to answer each one of these questions and have some scripts around that. Now, the second speaker money moment is the pre-call. So every event you do, typically a week or 2 before the event, you're going to get together with the meeting planner and the CEO or the president of the association or organization and talk through the event. This is a big confidence moment for them, and you need to have a list of questions. Like, for example, I always ask, who's going to introduce me? What does the room kind of setup look like? What's the AV setup? What kind of demographic is the audience in terms of male and female split? Who are the people who will be attending? What's happening before my talk? What's happening after my talk? So those are all the kind of things that I'm typically asking them in a pre-call. And then the third one is when you get to the event. So when you get there, you're going to check in, probably to a hotel room. You're going to go down to the meeting room, and what you do there is important. Who you talk to is important. In what order is important. How you set the tone and confidence. And then the fourth one, hopefully you're writing these things down, is when you get off stage. This is a huge moment to get not only testimonials or referrals or spin-off business, okay, to get someone to give you more work, okay? And so those are the 4 speaker money moments, okay? And that is speaking to get paid a check or speaking to get paid a fee. Typically, those are the kind of thing where it's a one-time deal, you go in, you get paid, and then you come out. Now, quickly, let's go to the second one, which is speak and sell products or services. Now, a lot of people push back on this. They think, I don't want to be out. But the reason that they do that is because they've seen speakers do this poorly. When you do this well, you actually look great, you're very congruent, no one really cares because they want to learn more from you or they want to get more from you. Think about this. Mike and I have been speaking now for probably a combined 30 years, made well over, I would say, $10 or $20 million if you put together the amount of money that we've made together. We started speaking, we could go for 3 or 4 or 5 days. We're going to spend probably about 45 minutes to an hour with you today. And so a lot of times there's always more. And the point is, you as a speaker have a lot more to share than typically that first part. And people are going to end up wanting to work with you when you do this well and congruently. I'll tell you my first speaking event, I went out to speak to a group of 24 people. And I had a product that I was there to sell for $297. I was so bad Remember that aw shuck stage? I was so bad, I was embarrassed by myself. And I did so poorly that when I got done, I just turned around and I closed my computer and I started walking away, and I turned back around and there were 2 people standing there with forms filled out to buy my product. Out of 20 people, 2 people were there with forms filled out to buy my product at $297. So I made almost $600. And I'm not kidding you. When I turned around and saw those two guys standing there, I almost asked them, are you sure you want to do this? Because that was like really bad. Like I was so bad that, but the point to make is there's always somebody. Okay, I'm telling you, you could go stand on your head and spit nickels for an hour and someone will walk up to you after a talk with a form. I don't know why that happens, but someone will always buy what you have. Okay, so the point is someone's gonna buy it, you might as well get out there and go ahead and do it. When you do this congruently, you're gonna sell a lot of products, no one's gonna know you're selling anything, you're really congruent, and it'll work with your brand or your personality or your market. Now, let's look at some numbers real quick. Let's say you do an event that just has 40 people. Just 40 people, and you close about 10% of those 40 people into a $500 product, which is a lower close rate than we would typically like, and a lower product price. Like, for example, more than you, 40% of you, I believe, said you sold products in the $2,000 range. So this is a lower, I'm just taking a low case, but think about this for a minute. If you did this once a month, you got 10% of the people, okay, that's 4 people at $500 at $2,000. So if you did that every month, just once a month, you spoke for an hour, you did that, that's an extra $24,000. But let's take, I think, what would be a more realistic example for what we do, which is a 20% close out of a room of about 100 people. So it's not even that many more, it's just 100 people. Now you've got 20 people buying a $2,000 product from you, that's $40,000. Now, imagine for a minute what it would be like if all you did was speak once a month and sold $40,000 worth of product. It would be huge. It would be huge for your life and your business, and you'd be helping a lot more people. You'd be getting more coaching clients. You'd be connecting with more people. It would work for you, okay? Which is the reason why the checklist, remember I told you I'm going to give you some checklists that you need for this is simply this. You need a formula. You need a way of communicating and outlining your talk so that it leads naturally to the end where people want to work with you, and the scripting on what to say, where to stand on stage, and the agreements that you're going to hand out afterwards. Mike?
All right, so this is a really fun example. This is Wes Majetka, who he has gone through, he's one of our private coaching clients. We've been working with him for a little while, but I asked him just yesterday, I said, okay, what's the latest that's going on with you? And he sent me this a couple of pictures, and what he does to get his gigs is he pays attention to any kind of financial forums that are going on. He's a tax planning strategist. So he is allowed to speak. This particular one, he's actually listed and alongside a Nobel economic award winner. Okay, so he got billing with them, and no one had known of him, much before, except in his own financial circles. Well, the bottom line is, he sent me an outline of his credit card charges, and you can see here $23,000 from just one event he spoke at. But the bottom line is his speaking topic is why paying hundreds of thousands of dollars less in taxes isn't too good to be true. Now, what is important about this, however, is he adapted the same presentation pitch to a simple video that's playing on YouTube. I know some of the Q&A that are coming in have to do with, well, what can I do with webinars? What can I do with YouTube? Now listen to this. He made a 3-minute video. And if you look on the screen, you can see there is one person subscribed to Wes's YouTube channel. That's me, okay? This video, when I clicked on it, has been seen 16 times. Well, here's what happened. He sent this 3-minute video out to 13 prospects he had, and he closed over $100,000 in a day from an email to a video. But what's important is speaking has enabled him to understand how to present and how to pitch and clarify his message. So I can't tell you how powerful that notion is. The more you speak, the more confident you get, the more frequently you do it. It makes it so much easier to present on camera as well and make short videos like he did, okay? Another one, Tracy Haynes, he's one of our longtime clients and customers. So he is, again, frequently speaking. One of the things that happened with him is he got a speaking opportunity to speak at Notre Dame, for example, or Notre Dame. I don't know how it's, is it Notre Dame? Yeah, I think that's, anyway, I never went there. But he says, I've earned thousands from no fee speaking, meetups and my own events and being invited to speak. My record is 50 brick and mortar business owners, spoke for 30 minutes and closed over 10 packages at $7.99. And and I have a public speakers association. So, and here again, he's branding himself. He's carrying around his books. But what's important is he got out there. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you where these folks are getting their speaking gigs as well. I'm going to give you some specific locations. But also, I know Ed shared one. This is to a speaker, a wet dream. It's called a table rush. It's when you do a great job of speaking and a whole bunch of people run to the back of the room to buy your products. And again, this didn't happen overnight. It took me several years until I got good enough for this. But that was 82 sales at $24.97. So just imagine whether, you could take away a couple zeros. $2,000 sounds great if you've never done it before. $20,000 sounds even better once you've been speaking for a little while. $200,000 is a darn good day in the office, honey. All right? Now, this is an example. Jim House, he's also one of our private coaching clients who's been through our programs over the past few years with Ed and I. Now, I'm going to play the audio for you right now. It's very brief, but he just sent this to us and shared his success, and he'll frame, what he's been doing and how he's making it work. Here's Jim.
My name is Jim House, and I'm a former principal of several schools. So when I became an entrepreneur, there was so much I didn't know. I didn't know the best way to get clients. I didn't know the best way to get people to see me as an expert. My programs are very expensive. I charge $45,000 and more. So it's critical that they see me as an expert. And I certainly was not a professional speaker. I learned from Ed and Mike how to speak from stage to solve all of those problems. Case in point, not too long ago, I spoke for 90 minutes for free to a room of about 40 people. When I was done, I sold 3 paid strategy sessions and 1 master class. And then later I enrolled all 4 of those buyers into working one-on-one with me. All told, that one free speaking gig made me about $35,000. While I now love speaking to large audiences, I found that by speaking to smaller groups of 15 or less, I can actually have a greater impact, and I usually make more money.
All right. Pretty good story, right? That's Jim. Really, really proud of him. And again, he was a principal not long ago. And when he met with Ed for a private coaching day, he was like, what should I do? He's talking about working with dads, for example. Very, very big because he just got focused and he really realized the power of being able to close fewer deals for more money. Now, I'm going to give you 2 speaking list building strategies. One of them is interactive. You're going to be able to try it. So get ready to write this number down. My team will also type it into chat so you can do it. But it's also a way for you to get our slides when we're done with the presentation. I told you you'd get them towards the end of the presentation. Well, one of them is something we call networking without a business card. One of the things that I do when I speak and whenever I go out is when people ask me for a business card, and hand it, I'll say, I don't carry business cards anymore. And they'll say, why not? And I said, the reason is because you're going to give me your business card. I'm going to give you mine, and neither one of us are ever going to follow up. Instead, I only work with and communicate with action takers. So what I have is a piece of paper, and you could take a screen capture of this. On it, I've got all their contact information, but a menu of everything that I have available, and I do. Now, why would I hand this out? Well, the reason being is it forces someone to think about what they want, but more importantly, they get to check off a menu list. They're basically pre-qualifying themselves for me and for my team. And what I'm able to do is based upon just what I get there, and by looking at their website, which by the way is a great way to qualify them, you can look at a website and in an instant know if someone's got a real business or if they're making money. But next off, because I've got a list of everything I can do for them, there's no question. I don't have to have a big pitch or a presentation. They are ready to move. And they're like, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you could help me with that. It allows me to close a bigger deal super, super quickly. Okay? So whenever I speak, especially at a free speaking event, what you want is a piece of paper that goes out on every single desk or chair. And that way people can follow up with you. Bam! You build a highly qualified, highly motivated list. But the next thing is inside all of my speeches, people are always saying, can I get your slides? Can I get your slides? Can I get your slides? At some point, I'll say, hey, look, you can get my slides. Here's how. And by the way, this is real, so you can try this out. Again, write this down or take a screen capture right now. My team will also type it into chat, so I don't have to repeat myself. And towards the end of the presentation, I'll give you another way to get this. So if you're out of the US and for some reason this number doesn't work for you, I'll give you an alternate way that will work for you out of the country. But when you text the word speak to area code 619-457-6248, you will get a two-way interactive mobile text chat. Now, if you're wondering how we do this, there's a couple services I use. I put them down here. One of them is called tryscipio.com. Another one is fixyourfunnel.com, which integrates with Infusionsoft. What you're going to experience is a two-way interactive mobile text conversation. Why is this so powerful? It's because it forces the person to qualify themselves. So I know who I'm talking to and what we're going to talk about, and it'll ask you some questions. So it's very, very powerful. So those are two very easy ways to build a highly motivated list. And here's what's important. If people have spent money and taken time to be in a room, you know they're already qualified, they're motivated, and they're ready to take action, which means they're ready to spend money with you. Now, Ed's going to guide you through speaking and selling coaching, and then I'm also going to give you the resources to go out to so you can start closing these speaking deals. Ed, take it away.
All right, so we got two more to cover, and then we're going to take your questions. By the way, we trust you with that number and those links. What I mean by that is we're about to drop more content bombs on top of you. We've had some really great comments. Thank you for Ricky and those other of you who said the content has been helping you. We like to give you stuff that you can actually go out and use, okay? But that said, if you go chasing a bunch of links right now, you might miss a few things. So text in to get the slides just like Mike showed you, and then be right back with us because we got some great stuff coming up that you definitely don't want to miss. And the next one, which is the third way to make money, which is speak and sell coaching or consulting or services. So I'll put all those together. I said coaching, but it could be any kind of service at all. It could be like if you're a financial advisor, it could be your advising services. If you're an attorney, it could be what you do as an attorney. In fact, I built an entire 7-figure business speaking to attorneys who came up to me after I spoke to them at bar associations and eventually became clients for an internet service firm that I had. And I believe speaking, this is, by the way, in the introduction it said 7-figure. I told you I roughly made about $5 million or more speaking. The majority of it actually is coaching or consulting sales. And a lot of it happens when you don't even do a close at the end of your talk. They just come to you afterwards, okay? In my experience, roughly 10 to 20% of the crowd will become coaching or consulting members with the right talk and with the right words. And in certain cases, you don't even need to close at the end. They just come to you. People will actually come up to you at the end of your talk and literally just ask if you could work with them. So Mike's going to give you, here's an example. Mike's going to give you a couple of examples real quick, and then I'm going to come back. Yeah.
All right. So here's another example of one of our clients. This is Trisha Nelson. Now, this is a room that she set up, and again, just using meetups to get people in the room, but she organized an all-day event and sold a Heal Your Hunger retreat from it. Here you can see a picture of it. But again, very low tech, very, very simple. And what's great about Trisha is, she was not a comfortable speaker presenter when we met her, but she recently, she just texted me and said that she's closed a $50,000 deal also. So what's key is just the more you do this, the easier it gets. But again, I'm going to give you some resources on where to get these gigs. Ed, take it away.
Man, $50,000 deal?
$50,000 deal.
Wow. Okay, she was in the studio about 3 months ago in one of our trainings, and the distance she's come from then to now is amazing. All right, cool. That's exciting. All right, so I'm giving you checklists at the end of each one of these. So obviously, speak and sell coaching, you need to talk, you need the scripts, you need to understand how to get a speaking slot, which is the question that we get all the time. I put it specifically in this section because of this. Now, at this point in the talk, you're motivated, excited, you're starting to feel better about what you can do, you're starting to see how you can make some money, and you're like, wait a second, how am I going to get a speaking slot? Here's the key terms I want you to see. Call for speakers or call for participation. When an association or a corporation or another company is doing an event, okay, what they will do is they will put a link. This is a super tip, okay? So if you're someplace else on your computer right now, come back just for a minute. This is really important. They will put a link on their website that says call for speakers. I just did a Google search and put it in quotes just like this. There's 438,000 websites on the internet webs right now that have the term call for speakers. So for example, here's the Outdoor Industry Association. There's the link, call for speakers. When you click that, all you have to do is fill the information out, okay, and you submit yourself to becoming a speaker there. Here's another one, which is the American Massage Therapy Association, call for speakers. Shoot, this is the American Association of Pedestrian, and I didn't even know there was Pedestrian and Bicycle Professional Association, but sure enough, here it is, call for speakers, you fill it out, okay, so there is 438,000 people out there that are looking for not just one speaker, typically 6 or 8. And remember, you're solving their problem. The meeting planner right now is sitting there thinking, how in the world am I going to get speakers for my event? And here you are trying to figure out how you're going to get speaking talks. Now is a good time to start to come together. Here's another one. For example, this is you got this one.
I can take this one.
Yeah.
So check this out. I'm going to start it from the beginning because it's called Lanyard, okay? The search for calls for participation. Again, this is something I didn't know about until Ed shared it with me, okay? These are all the speaking topics on this one website that are tech and marketing related. So this one thing alone should be worth a fortune to you. When you just look for calls for speakers, calls for participation, a world of opportunity is going to open up because people are searching for every imaginable topic or idea. Just this one thing brought up like 8 pages worth of opportunities. And what's important is, I know we had one of our visitors who's here from Nigeria, and he's wondering, well, there isn't Meetup in Nigeria. Well, there sure are calls for participation and calls for speakers. I can't believe this is in every country in the world. There are events, there are organizations, there's associations and meetups, and they're also looking for cross business types. In other words, they don't necessarily want someone from the exact same business type speaking at their events. They want to cross over as well. So again, once you do some searching on this, it's going to blow you away. And remember, you don't have to worry about doing this. Don't get distracted right now. We're going to give you the slides at the end of this presentation. But this is a really, really powerful way to go. Did you want to take Mike or should I talk about Mike? Okay, so this is Mike Semmel. He's also one of our clients. I'm going to just tell you what he's been doing. So if you've written a book or you have a book, and I know one of the polls I was going to push up is, have you written a book? Ed will actually send that out right now. So Mike came to our Publish and Profit event. He became a #1 best-selling author. He uses that to get on stages, and he sells HIPAA consulting. In other words, it's healthcare and also data security. Now, he used the lead capture tool, but when he's speaking, he says you can get a free copy of my book, but he also turned them into business cards that he hands out. Same exact strategy as the sheet of paper. Here you can see for a free copy of how to avoid HIPAA headaches, the text. He writes in a code there, people respond, they get his book, but on the back of the card, it has a please contact me about. That way people write down their contact information, give it back. He's closing $30,000 deals, getting $5,000 to $30,000 deals with this one simple strategy. By the way, that picture is of Mike's granddaughter. He likes to say the book is so easy to read. My 2-year-old can read, my granddaughter can read it too. I don't remember how old she is. She's a little bitty one. So, all right, next, Ed.
All right, so by the way, a really great comment from Jeannie who said, man, I could use this for a nonprofit and just go speak for them. Jeannie, we're going to talk about that in just a second. So you are a not only smart but perceptive. Okay. The other question I get is, okay, I don't even know what I would speak about or how do I title my talk? Yes, you do. Okay, stop making excuses. I'm just messing with you. Let me just give you a couple formulas. I'm going to give you 3 formulas that you can use to create a talk title and figure out what you're going to talk about. So for example, the 5 biggest mistakes someone makes when trying to get something that they have a challenge with. I'll give you an example of this, which is this. The 5 biggest mistakes CRM companies make when trying to get new customers. Here's another formula for you. 3 ways to blank, right? 3 ways to decrease customer service problems. 3 ways to get your body in shape. 3 ways to harder abs in 30 days or less, right? They can do this in my sleep. Listen, 7 myths you've been led to believe about insert something problem that they have and how to break through all 7 to something that they want, right? So for example, one of our clients sells franchises. So 7 myths you've been led to believe about the franchise process and how to break through all 7 to get new franchises. Now, again, this is very formulaic. This is the kind of thing we do, which is just to fill in the blanks and go back to this. Go back to the out of control F18. It's a formula or it's a system. I like things like this that you can simply fill in the blanks, or I can just grab and copy and paste and just say. So imagine what it would be like to have all the scripts and the answers and the fill in the blanks and everything. That's what I do. That's what I love to do because, again, I'm the guy that failed kindergarten, remember? Okay, so I need to have that stuff in front of me. So now we did the first 3. Now we've got the last one, which is this: speak and sell books. And this is probably the least lucrative way of the three ways that I just mentioned, okay, but probably the easiest. And there's, a lot of times when speakers are getting started, this is a pretty natural way to go, just to bring books, sell them at the back table, have people get more of your stuff, and they love you for it, okay? So first of all, just a couple tips. It's very easy to sell books at events. People are already connected with you, they feel rapport, and they're typically low price. So just one tip, if you're selling books and you've brought them, just sell them for like $10 or $20. And the reason why I say $10 or $20 is if you sell your books for $14.95 at the back table, you are going to have to make change, okay? So $10, most people carry 20s with them, which means if you sell for 10, you can just start making change with the 10s. And if you make it 20, people can just give you $20, okay? So it's very simple. Now, pro tip. Instead of just selling the book, include your book in a larger package and sell it for, say, $97 or $4.97, okay, or $19.97. In other words, build something bigger and offer that at the back table or to the people. Or even better, a super pro tip is this: sell your books in bulk to the meeting planner. So one tip, grab a pen, write this down. This is going to come fast. When I'm on the phone with the meeting planner, a lot of times what I do is I say, hey, how would you like to get a copy of your book for every one of your attendees so that you can give out books to everyone? And that way everyone gets to take home a part of their education. And a lot of times what they do is the meeting planner will have 300 or 400 people coming. They'll buy a discounted book from me. So for example, one of my books sells for $12. They'll buy a discounted book for $7. They'll buy it for 300 people, which means I just got paid $2,100 for asking a question. Okay, the point is that books can be very lucrative when you do it right. All right, so let's just summarize very quickly the 4 ways to make money. And we went through that fairly quickly, but man, we covered a lot of ground in this webinar, and we're going to get quickly into your questions. We have a list now that we've built of really great questions, and I see them building inside of our team is lining them up inside of our webinar right now. But I want to review, and then I want to ask you a few questions, and then we'll start getting into some of the Q&A. So first of all, the 4 ways to make money speaking. Remember, the key is to pick one. It's either speaking, get paid checks, speak and sell products, speak and sell coaching, consulting, or your services, and then speak and sell books. Now, a lot of the speakers that we know and work with do all of them. We do all of them, actually, when we go out and speak. But the point is, find one that you feel comfortable with and go out and start speaking. Build your talk. Go start speaking locally. Start connecting with audiences. You're going to love it. They're going to love it. And you're going to find yourself in a business that's going to change lives and change your financial future as well. Okay, so in just a minute, we're going to take your specific questions about speaking. In fact, I've wrote some notes down. I promised to do a quick outline of what a good solid 10-minute talk will look like. And one of the questions that we just got asked was about a sizzle reel. So you asked, is it important to have a sizzle reel or a video to show to meeting planners? I'm going to actually take that question and I'm going to up it one more, and I'm going to show you some things that you want to have on your website. So we'll cover all of that in the Q&A. But before we do that, Mike and I want to invite you into not only a really special training, but also a really special opportunity. And I got to tell you, we're very excited about this. This program that I'm about to tell you about has changed people's lives. In fact, some of the folks that you just heard from, some of those stories, have taken the tools out of this particular program, like Jim House or Wes Matei or Mike Semmel or Tricia Nelson, and gone off and created great value in the world. They've helped a lot of people, but they've got paid very, very well because of it. And you got to know, the thing about this tool, this system that we're about to show you, is this. We've done the work for you. And so we've taken our 30 years of knowledge and we put it into a system that's not a teaching system per se, but it's more like a done for you or done with you system, in the sense that we wrote your scripts and your agreements and your contracts and even some of your presentations for you, so that all you have to do is copy, paste, and cut and put your own information in there. And then we go one step further and promote you, okay, and show you to our community, and you get exposure. Your talk gets exposed and feedback and coaching from our community. But we're going to add one more thing at the end, which will totally blow you away. Mike and I are actually going to invite you to coach with us in a very small group environment right here in San Diego, where we can look you in the eye, hold you by the hand, and really help you launch your career. But let's just talk really quickly about what's inside of the system, and then we'll get on to your questions, and we'll have a lot of fun together. So first of all, inside of this program that we call Speak and Profit, which again, I'm in love with this program. I am totally biased, but that doesn't mean I'm not right. Okay, I think this program is changing the world, and it's changing people just like you who want to share your message. You want to get out there, and again, this will work for you if you've never spoken before. In fact, if last time you spoke was like Mrs. Potter's 3rd grade English class, or if you're a certified speaking professional and you've been doing it for years. Okay, because what it fundamentally does is it funnels you into a way to make a lot of money and help a lot of people. So the first module is how to build your speaking platform from the ground up. We talk about things like website and sizzle reels and social media, very simple things that you can do to almost immediately attract a meeting planner's attention. I'm talking about a week or less worth of thinking to get it there so that you can pack your schedule and start speaking now. Our goal for you is to get out and speaking within 2 weeks of taking the course, and we've been very successful at helping, just like some of the folks that you saw already. Okay, the second part is building. So we're going to give you the answer on how to build that speaker reel. Again, this sounds hard. It's not. It's just simply taking some clips from some of the things that you've done before and putting yourself in a place where people can start to come to you. And then as a bonus, we're going to talk about how to use a book. So roughly half of you who responded to our poll said that you have written at least one book. We're going to show you and share with you how to use a book to open up bigger speaking deals. So when I went into the lawyer niche, I built a 7-figure business on top of a book and then speaking, and we'll show you how to use that. Now, if you've never written a book before, don't worry about it because the scripts that we've written will work for you. You'll simply say, my soon-to-be released book about a book that you're going to do instead of one that you're currently doing, okay? So, in the prepare section inside of Speak and Profit, we're going to teach you how to craft the perfect keynote speech. But then when we teach you how to do that, we're going to give you an opportunity to get feedback from both Mike and I and our community, because all of our students get the opportunity to take their speech, to put it inside of our membership community so that you can get feedback, but also exposure. And there's actually deals that happen and there's business that happens because of the exposure that you get inside of our community. We'll give you the outline, but then we're also going to give you the PowerPoint, the keynotes, and all the tools and everything that you need so that you can just plug and play. Again, this is different from any other system that you've used before or you've seen about speaking, because instead of just teaching you, which is one thing, hey, that's fine, by the way, we do that sometimes, where we just teach something. But in this particular system, unlike those other systems you've seen, we take you by the hand, we show you what to do, but then we give you the tools so that it's already done for you. And let me tell you, if you started from scratch on this stuff, it would take you years to get to the point of what you're going to get when you get everything downloaded. Okay, in the prepare section, you're going to learn how to create beautiful keynotes and trainings based on the templates that we've given to you. We actually have 5 ready-made slide templates that are already done for you in the Done For You section, and that's only one of the very small one very small bit of all the stuff that's done for you. In the profit section, this is where the rubber meets the road and you start making money. Okay, we're going to teach you how to sell products, consulting, and close big deals, and then how to get 100% of your audience to buy books. So when it comes to this section, this is the part of the program that I teach, the profit section, or at least most of it. My rule is simple. You've heard the story. You can teach a man to fish, and he'll fish. Give a man a fish, he'll eat. Teach a man to fish, he'll fish for a year. Sometimes people want the fish. Just give me the fish. And so what we do is we teach you to fish and we give you the fish. The point is, I'm going to give you my word for word scripting. I'm going to give you everything that I do on stage. I'm going to give you how I say certain things and how you should say certain things so that you can maximize your profit, whether you're getting paid fees or products or services or coaching or books. So we're going to give you the best pitch ever formula. It's been responsible for tens of millions of dollars for Mike and I combined. And then we're going to show you our Gold Rush formula for how to capture leads and build a list of buyers from the stage, okay? Now, what we do in our system is we give you immediate access. So the moment that you enroll today, which we certainly encourage you and hope that you will do, you'll get immediate access to the membership site. That way you can start the training and start interacting with us and our team. But we also give you transcripts, action guides, audio files, and the videos. In other words, some people like to watch, some people like to listen, some people like to read. And so we give you the training and all of those things. And then we're going to go one step further and invite you to come right here to San Diego to work with Mike and I in a really small group environment so that you can get one-on-one coaching with us. Now, this little Done For You speaking treasure chest, which is actually just a bonus that we've added into this program, in my opinion, is worth the entire price of the program, because all the checklists for what you need when you go to speak, every agreement, form, and template is done for you. In other words, everything you need to run a seamless speaking business. So you might need a speaking agreement. We've got that already taken care for you. For example, that discovery call. So when somebody meeting planner gets on that first call and they ask you questions about dates and fees and what you speak about, we've actually answered that question for you. So all you simply have to do is just read through it or practice through it, and it's done. Remember that call that I mentioned before when the meeting planner asks you on the call or on that pre-call when I gave you a series of questions? I've already got all those 20 questions listed out. So you can just sit there on the phone with a meeting planner and just go through the questions and just write the answers. You don't have to think about anything ahead of time. I'm going to tell you what to do when you walk into the meeting for the first time, who to talk to, whose hand to shake, what to say to the president or the CEO when they're there, what to say to the meeting planner. When you walk off stage, you're going to ask the meeting planner a very specific question. I'm going to give you that question. This is called how to build a business, okay? And it's all of the tools, all the scripts inside of the speaking treasure chest. Listen, if all we did was charge $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 just for this it would be worth it by the speaking deals that you get off of this. Okay, so let's start adding up the things that you get. First of all, you get all the money-making modules inside of Speak and Profit, including Build, Prepare, and Profit, all the teaching, all the tools, all the done-for-you checklists, agreements, and forms. Plus, you get transcripts, action book, the modules, the MP3s, everything inside of all that. And then you get everything you need to run a seamless speaking business, including all the done-for-you speaking treasure chest, emails, scripting, emails, proposals, and agreements. Simply everything you need to get booked, to keep your booking, to get paid, to follow up, and to get referrals and spin off business. Mike?
Right. Well, we've got some killer bonuses for you as well. And I see some awesome questions coming in. Keep them coming. We're going to answer every single one of them. So anything related about getting and closing deals. But here are the bonuses. First of all, we're going to show you how to get promoted. And in a moment, I'm going to tell you how we're actually going to promote you. So how to attract speaking deals quickly, easily, and for free. We share just one of them with you, one that involves zero cold calling or any kind of stress. And the bottom line is this can be easy when you have the formula. That's why Ed talked about the system. Now, this is something else brand new. Now, we showed this. We put together a directory, a guide of event and meeting planners. So these are updated regularly, and it includes pitch scripts, what to say, how to say it, so you can get and close and get booked to speak on stages and get paid. And as Andy was mentioning in chat just a little while ago, you can get paid to travel as well, which is awesome. Okay, next up, a lot of people that I've worked with have discovered that when they represent and are doing business with a nonprofit or a philanthropy, their audience actually spends more money and they are willing to pay more. So my wife, Vivian Glick, who you can see her here with the First Lady, Michelle Obama, President Bill Clinton. She's been to the White House 3 times last year. She has built a process for how to use philanthropies and charities. Next, if your concern is looking great, feeling comfortable on camera, we've worked with thousands of people and helped them overcome those challenges. I can coach anyone on feeling absolutely confident, comfortable, and courageous on camera and on stage and eliminate any fear you have of speaking. And then, how do you build a fan base? Really, how do you create a movement using Facebook Live, YouTube, Instagram, and more, and be able to gather leads in a list? There's a high probability you're here watching us because you responded to a Facebook Live promotion, for example. Okay? Then we show you 10 different list building strategies. So again, one of your goals is how do you get the right people to either want to attend your events, whether they're online or offline, when you're speaking on stages. And then finally, how to get clients online. We're actually going to deconstruct what's been working with and for us. And remember, it's not about having a lot of customers. It's about having the right customers who are willing to pay you more. We're not just going to show you this, but we're going to show you how you can charge more money for everything you do. And this is awesome. We are now doing live Facebook Live coaching. So no matter where you live in the world, you're going to be able to interact directly with me and my team to get your questions answered. And when you record your speech, we actually post it in our Facebook community where you get exposure, you get feedback from other members. And here you can see some examples as I'm scrolling through them. So this is how we are going to promote you. And in fact, I have been bringing in some of our students in to actually be featured in our products and on our stages. We're always looking for high quality talent. I'm happy to refer and send you to other people I know as well. So this is a community of people who are abundance-minded, like-minded, just like you. All right, so Ed, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, so let's just add everything up that you get. By the way, that's awesome, and I didn't see that entire slide before we got on there. But the promotion piece alone, I mean, think about that. What if you just closed a $2,000 or a $3,000 or $4,000 deal just from inside of our community, people seeing your speech? Okay, so let's add it all up again. You get everything inside of the system. I mean, this is the core of the system. Here's all the extra stuff that you get in this big white space that we're going to fill in. Plus, you get everything you need that's scripted for you to create a done-for-you business. Again, everything's prepared. It's all done ahead of time. It's based on a combined multi-million dollar speaking businesses, all the mistakes that we made, all the challenges, all the questions, all the answers. Again, we script it out for you step by step so that you've got it all. You don't need to worry about it. You can take a big deep breath and concentrate on just your talk and connecting with your audience. And then you get a bunch of bonuses. So bonus number 1, you get promoted plus our 100 meeting planner directory, so you have a place to start when it comes to finding book meetings. Then we've got charity change, how to help a nonprofit or grow a nonprofit. Number 3, how to look great on stage. Number 4, fanatical fans. Number 5, list bliss, how to grow your list using some of the tools that we just showed you and demonstrated live. Then you've got hooked. And then finally, the Facebook Live coaching. Now, the cool thing about this slide right here with this white stuff, and this, as you already know, there's more. Okay, so there actually is just a little bit more. We're going to open up in just a minute what we consider our biggest bonus yet. A significant time commitment for Mike and I, but we're doing it for a reason. I'll explain what it is in just a second. I think it's important for you to know the reason behind why we're doing things, and it's about you, okay? But real quick, as an extra bonus, you're actually going to get 2 tickets to our upcoming event called Promote and Profit. During this event, we'll show you how to build an audience, grow and monetize your list with books or speaking or products or consulting or persuasion, influencing, and the dates are all on the page that we're about to give you a link to in just 1 minute. But before we do that, I'm going to unveil what I think is the biggest bonus. I'm calling this the Moab, the mother of all bonuses. Okay, you've heard of the mother of all bombs. This is the mother of all bonuses. Now, some of you are kind of like, man, this sounds really good. I could totally do this. I don't know what the price is just yet, but I'm sure they're going to get to it. But man, put me over the fence, and I'm going to give you something I think that'll put you way over the fence. This is what we consider our biggest bonus yet, and it comes down to this, which is this. You get a live, man, I just went right past that. Hang on. You get a live profit coaching day and an in-studio experience. So Mike and I come here. We've got 2 dates set aside. Now, usually we have about 15 to 19 people. In fact, sometimes we've had as low as 8 people that come to these, and as many as, say, 19 or so. But we keep this small. We're actually in the studio that we're in right now, so it's a small group environment. And we want to invite you into a 1-day coaching with us where we can roll up our sleeves, we can connect with you, get to know you, find out your business goals, find out what you want to accomplish in your business, and then give you specific coaching to get you there. Okay, this bonus coaching is an exclusive day with Mike and I and our attendees, okay, where we can really help you move to the next stage in your business. And let me just put it to you this way. We're here to work with you to show you what's working, to pull you inside of our business, to show you behind the scenes, show you some of the numbers and things that we wouldn't share typically on a webcast like this that's recorded, but we can show you some things inside of our business. Maybe we can help make connections, give you a referral. Maybe we can connect you to some of our resources, the people that help us with Facebook or Facebook Live. But the bottom line is we want to work with you. And we found really in this business that a lot of people who create products and have products online have very wide businesses, but not very deep. In other words, they don't know their customers very well, and they haven't been able to connect with their customers. And you see today on chat a lot of the folks that have been to our trainings and know us really well. So I see Andy and I see Jim and I see some other folks on chat that we've worked with for a very long time. And if you want to build a business where you really help people long term and you grow a really sustainable business, it's going deep. And this is a way for us to go deep, to really connect with you. It's a big day. It's a big commitment for us, but we really want to work with you. And those are limited right now, by the way. I think we're counting this down starting at 25. We'll give you the link here for that in just a second. By the way, some of the examples of the what's working now kind of stuff that we can cover is on the screen there, like lead generation, mobile marketing, Facebook marketing, funnel creation, speaking and selling, pitching, coaching and consulting, trade show, publicity and podcasting. I've been doing a lot of radio, like just the other day, last Monday, I did 5 radio shows in one day. And I'll break down, if you want me to, some of the ways that I'm getting on radio and selling 20 to 70 books a day simply from publicity, book publishing, marketing automation, Facebook Live, how to set up a studio, how to present and perform on video, interviewing strategies, branding, product creation, outsourcing, and so much more. This is just a list of examples of things. Again, the day is driven by you and really where you want to take it in terms of the coaching for you. Listen, the bonus is worth way more than this entire system combined. Normal studio events start at about $5,000 and go up to about $10,000, this is a bonus into this program. Listen, a private coaching day, if you work with Mike and I, would start at $30,000 and go up to $70,000. And those are real numbers we've actually charged. That's not made up stuff. Those are real numbers we've actually charged people before. And you get to come here just as a bonus into this program, okay? But you're going to want to register now. Right now, we got this set aside for 25 people, okay? And that's the dates that we've set aside, okay? So now, you get in this program not only the complete system, you get everything, all of the done for you modules, all the written emails, all the agreements, forms, scripts, and proposals, everything written and done for you. You also get all the bonuses that we talked about. Bonus number 1, the promotion bonus, the charity bonus, how to look great on stage. Man, there's a ton of stuff in here. Fanatical fans, List Bliss, Hooked, Facebook Live coaching. But you also get the live event, and you also get bonus coaching with Mike and I right here in San Diego. So let's get ready to put that link up in just a second. But before I do that, let's talk about the price. Listen, if you did coaching with Mike and I, it would be $30,000 or more. If we put everything together into this program, man, the value could be way more than $10,000. Okay, but right now, we believe the total value is at least to you and your business right there at about $10,888. But we're gonna cut this off and make it this. Okay, check this out. $1997. Like, let me think about that for a second. Is that a deal or is that a deal? That's 80% off plus. Think of all you get. Actually, we're going to make it even better. If you want to, we've actually created a payment plan. So you get it for $19.97, but you can do a 3-pay if you want to for $727. That means you get in for less than $730 on a 3-pay, and the program is 100% guaranteed. What that means is you can test it, you can try it all out. If for some reason it's not right for you, which is rare, you can return everything and get a full refund, and we can still be friends. Listen, this is, I believe, the most comprehensive system on planet Earth, not only to teach you how to make a whole bunch of money as a speaker, but also to take you by the hand and give you all the tools and resources. And Mike and I are going to go one step further for you, the first 25 who invest in this program, and look you in the eye right here in our studio and work with you and get to know you so that we can help you in our business. Who knows? It might be the beginning of us having a business relationship together. You never know what happens. That's happened before, actually, from this. But I want you to just stop for a minute. And as a matter of fact, our team, you can put that link up and you can put the button up, which should be just to the right of me. Great. So I want you to imagine just for a minute. So just pause and imagine, what if you just got one keynote for $2,500? That's it. Like one college, over the next year, just one. Think about this. What if you just sold 5 products for another $500? Or maybe you just got one client. You just spoke and you got one client for $3,000. Now the program's $19.97. So in every one of these cases, you've made at least $500. And in this case, you've made $1,000. And all you did is get one. That's it. Just one. Now, for a minute, imagine what if you did that every month. I mean, think about that $3,000 client. What if you got $3,000? That's it. Just $3,000 a month or $2,500 a month, and you did it for a full year. Let's take it at $2,000. Let's make it even as low as we can. That's $24,000 you've made. If it was $3,000, that's $36,000. So we're talking about $25,000 to $35,000 in the next year, and only because you took the step to invest in yourself in a program that's totally guaranteed anyway. So imagine for a moment, what would you do with that $25,000, that $35,000? Would you start paying off some debt? Would you invest in a new home? Would you buy a new car? Would you help your kid pay for college? Would you help another kid pay for college? Maybe you'd help a nonprofit. Shoot, maybe you just take a vacation. You know what you could, I was pricing out tickets to Europe in first class recently. You can fly first class to Europe for less than that, okay? The point is, the door begins to open up for the things that you want to do when you take action. And think about that. I just said $25,000 to $35,000. That's what you were imagining, and the price of the program is just that. Okay, so look, our feeling is that when you implement, like Jim House, like Tricia Nelson did, like Mike Semmel did, you'll see results from a program. And it was important that I just said, when you implement. Again, 100% money back guarantee. The program has a 3-pay today, which is $727, 3 by $727, which means you get in for less than $730. This, in my opinion, is the time and the right place for this particular program. And when would now be an amazing time for you to get in front of your audience, to help more people, to connect with your audience, and to see the results in your business. I'm looking forward to working with you right here in San Diego, but let's start answering questions and interacting with people. Mike?
Let's do it. All right, so thank you. We're seeing some orders come in already. We've got a timer up here, and I want you to make sure that you get in here. Now, one thing that I do want to let you know is these are the One Day with Ed and I in studio is a bonus, okay? So if for some reason you can't attend, we understand. That's why we have the monthly Facebook Live coaching. But what is important is these immersive events are incredibly valuable. It's our way of really sharpening our spear, being able to work with you and deal with you. If you want to create products, information products, for example, if you want to build and grow your business, the way to get some face time with us to accelerate your deal closing skills and abilities. So we are going to take some questions. I know, Nicole, you have been racking them up here. So why don't we go ahead and take the questions, and you can guide us through what they are step by step. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay, great job, guys, by the way. So I like to kind of see the theme that's coming from chat here. And a lot of people, time commitment is an issue. So Jennifer asks, what if I work full time? Can I get up and running with my speech even if I'm busy full time?
Great.
Working?
So I'll explain. The way we created this program, it was originally a 3-day immersive event, okay? So inside of less than 2 days, you can get through all the material and the content. You can be working on your speech. You can record it. You can put it inside the Facebook group and get feedback from other community members, okay? So that's a very, very important part of this is it doesn't take a long time. It's one of the reasons why we design your first speech to be a 10-minute talk, because you can expand a 10-minute talk into a paid speech, which might be, let's say, 30 to 60 minutes long, okay? You can expand it into a platform speech, so you can speak and you can sell. But we start out with a basic framework that's easy to digest. It's step-by-step, it's ABCs, it's fill in the blanks, and we give you over 20 example speeches that you get to model and review and look at from other members who've been through the program, because there's nothing better than immersion. So the bottom line is we designed this for people just like you, no matter how busy you are, and you can access this membership site from your phone, from your tablet, from your computer, anytime, anywhere, on demand, and be able to digest this. We give you the PDFs, we give you the audios, we allow you to read the content too. It is so simple and so easy, and it's designed for implementation-minded professionals who want to get and close more deals. How do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, the
Rush.
modules themselves are TED-style modules, so they're typically 10 to 25 minutes in range, so you could digest potentially one a day. But really, implementation is going to be the key, and one of the first things we're going to teach you how to do is build a very simple 10-minute talk, which the presentation for that is about 10 minutes, actually. Yep. And then you'll see how the other members did it. So you can take it step by step, and you can do it at your own pace. So it's a good question.
Great
Nicole?
question, yeah.
And by the way, as you're enrolling, because we have had people enroll in the program, as you're enrolling in chat, please tell us that you're in so that we can recognize you
do that.
and congratulate you. I'll just say, as you enroll, just to give you an idea of the process, you're going to click that button to the right. When you click that, it's going to open up a separate page that has a full discussion of the program. There's more on there than I had certainly time to talk about in this short presentation. So if you want to read more about the program, you're more than welcome to do that, but you get the gist of it from the presentation. So scroll down, select your payment option. Here's my recommendation though. Instead of reading it, I mean, go for it in terms of reading it if you want to, but you've got a 30-day guarantee. So my recommendation is jump into the program and get in before the bonuses go away, and that way you've locked your spot in to come coach here in San Diego, and then you can go back and read the page later and find out all the stuff that you have.
Get in there before. We've cutting down. We've got right now. I'm looking at. We've already got 7 people are in, and I know we have. I just saw Angela Stillwell got in, so thank you for that, Angela. We'll have more reports as we move forward. Congratulations, and we're down to 17 units. So again, our goal is to get you in so you take advantage of this one day. So get through the registration process as fast as you can. Nicole, let's hear another question, please.
Okay, guys, great question from David. He asks, I've done a bit of speaking and even attended Toastmasters. That said, I haven't made any real money speaking yet. So any ideas on how long it might take to start making money with the course?
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. I have nothing against Toastmasters or the National Speakers Association or any other speaker associations out there. That said, neither one of those organizations is going to teach you how to actually make money, actual money. They'll dance around the edges just a little bit. Again, those organizations aren't designed to teach you how to make money. Toastmasters is designed to teach you how to not say a lot or how to use your hands as a speaker. But if you want to learn how to actually make money, you're going to have to learn from people who've actually made money, okay? And
you want a system that works, okay? It's like we give you, it doesn't feel like a step-by-step fill-in-the-blank system. It's something that's natural, that takes advantage of who you are and what you do. But this is a format because the human brain reacts and responds to specific patterns, consistently, and being able to learn how to influence and persuade with integrity, and also be able to feel completely natural is something that we teach you how to do. And you get to model it. You get to see it inside the program. Huge part of this is the immersive side of it. And that can't be replicated anywhere else. That's one of the things that makes this program particularly unique. Both Ed and I make a living speaking and selling from stages, in addition to doing webinars and webcasts. And my rule is always, first of all, I don't take financial advice from people who make less money than me, and I wouldn't go get nutrition advice or fitness advice from someone who's overweight. Okay? Same thing if I'm learning how to speak and how to sell. I want to learn from someone who's in the trenches, who's getting and closing deals right now, working with real clients, traveling the world and speaking and selling on a regular basis. And both Ed and I do that.
As if right on time, Billy says, as a seasoned, I'm just broadcasting this question, as a seasoned speaker of 18 years, very valuable insights. Thank you guys, rock. And again, the point is, it's not so much the speaking. See, we trust the fact that you can connect with your audience and that we're going to be able to teach you how to do that. It's the actual making money piece. Again, all the forms, scripts, agreements, everything's provided for you. Click the button and get in so you can come to our training.
Rock and roll, get in
like we
here.
said, the program's totally guaranteed, and we love it. We believe in it, and it's our latest product that we've created, and we're very proud of the success that our students have already had so quickly. So, Nicole?
Right on, ready. Okay, let's do the next question.
Okay, great. We have quite a few people in chat that are in the financial services industry, and they're asking any thoughts on that type of industry. How would it work?
Great.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at an industry that's extremely crowded when it comes to competition. I mean, the number of people who are financial advisors, I'm just going to talk about professional services, attorneys who are out there selling insurance. You could walk from San Diego to Maine on top of folks like that, and it becomes difficult for a consumer to know who to choose from, which is the reason why a lot of times they end up choosing a person who is referred. Now, I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine knocking on someone's door or handing a whole bunch of people a bunch of cards at a local town fair. That is the as Dan Kennedy would say, the annoying pest way of marketing. Right. But I want you to imagine someone seeing you speak. They see you speak on financial things. You come off stage. They ask you a question. You ask them who's managing your finances. They say no one. You say, why don't you come in on Tuesday? And they feel thrilled. They are honored that the speaker just had you invited them to come in. Again, it's only a positioning thing because no one waits in a long line to meet the guru at the bottom of the mountain. They wait for the person at the top of the mountain. And it's just because you stood up on stage and spoke.
Right on. And what I will tell you about financial services is, like we gave you that short example with Wes, for example. Not only is he speaking and closing his big deals, he has programs as large as $50,000. And when we did our poll earlier, you saw that pattern. The majority of people who are on today are selling products that exceed $5,000 in terms of the packages. So being able to sell high ticket items and larger volumes of them speaking, but then being able to adapt that to work in a webinar environment is something that is incredibly valuable, incredibly powerful too. So you're going to get more exposure. And again, this is a formula that is adaptable to any market, including the financial space.
Angela says, I've done it one day with Mike and Ed. That alone is worth the price. So come on now.
Thank you, Angela.
We're gonna, by the way, those are going to run out. So make sure that you enroll, and you're going to get the bonus that you get to come with Mike and I and Coach. Andy Falco says, speaking words, I've taken Ed and Mike's techniques, and it's been a game changer for my business. And then thank you, Andy, by the way, who was just actually here also at a training. Yep. Right here in the studio. And then Jeannie says that she has a question for Nicole. And so I want to make sure that you have the number and also the way to email if people want to contact Nicole.
Yeah, let's put that, we've got that up here. Yeah, if you have any questions, you want to speak with someone live.
Yeah, so you have questions on the product, you have questions on how the payments go, questions on the guarantee. You want to ask maybe about your business and how it might fit into your business, and you want to talk to Nicole. Not only is she asks our questions, not only is she a TV broadcaster, but she also manages that part of the team, the customer care team, the sales team that will help you.
So answer your strategic questions.
So the number is on the board, 858-227-9108, extension 103. And as far as I know, Nicole, that goes pretty much right to you, right?
It does, right?
So like you call at midnight, it'll wake her up, she'll go downstairs. I'm not kidding. It probably doesn't do that, but it does go right to Nicole. So please, if you have questions, call. But here's what I would recommend. And if you're kind of thinking about it, enroll. Make sure you get
into the bonuses before they run out. Yeah.
And then if you talk to Nicole and it's not a right fit for you, that's fine. We just end up giving you a refund and we can still be friends. Okay?
Okay, good.
So do that now.
All right, next question, Nicole.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're going back to the time commitment thing because people are still asking how much time it takes to consume all of the information, all the modules.
Yeah, less than 2 days is the short.
Yeah, and I'll just say the we put more in the program than you need. It's the same is true for every one of our programs because everyone speaks on different things and has different goals. So for example, you might want to just speak and get paid a fee. Someone else might want to sell products. Someone else might want to just do coaching or consulting or books. And so we've taught all 4 of those things, but a lot of times people will go out and speak one. Like for example, Mike Semmel, he sells consulting and services. That's the module that he does. And so you might end up only consuming a quarter of the material because we've created more to cover the bases. Okay, again, if you're willing to commit, say 10 to 20 minutes a day, and everyone has 10 to 20 minutes a day, even if it's just in a car. Remember, we give you the audios and the transcripts so you can just listen on the way. As long as you're willing to commit just some drive time, you'll get enough steps forward that you can start to see the results, you can start to get some speaking events, and you can start to see some results and some revenue, and then the rest is yours after that. Javier just said he just got a 50,000, I think that stands for pounds.
Pound consulting
or
payment.
euro, yeah.
Nice.
So good job.
Thank
really
you,
good.
my friend. That was that's incredible.
Honestly, do not mind hearing those stories. Just so you know. So I got 3 books and been featured in CNN 5 times. Really?
Wow.
Man, congratulations, man. Yeah, I just saw Javier at an event not long ago, so it was really good looking you in the eyes, and he was such a loving guy. He's just such a sweet person. So thank you for that.
All right.
And
awesome.
okay, fantastic.
That's so great. I've kind of always wanted to be on CNN.
Great. Jeremy asks,
Javier.
Here's one. Jeremy says, I'm in the UK. Does your meeting planner list have entries for here? The answer is, not only do we give you a list of meeting planners, we also show you where you can find them all over the world. So yes, they are inside there. And again, the strategies we teach you will work worldwide. And I've been looking in the directories. They are worldwide. I've been finding places in like Africa and all over Europe. So there are meeting planners in every country in the world. That much I can assure you.
I'm going to give you another. I'm going to drop another one for you. By the way, this is just a bonus for you because you stuck around for the Q&A. There's a website called Speaker Match, so speakermatch.com. But let me just give you a little bit of warning about talking to meeting planners, about going to call for speakers, and websites like Speaker Match. If you do that now, you're going to miss a lot. In other words, you're probably going to end up getting booked for $1,500 when you could have got booked for $5,500. So imagine this just for a minute. What if you just had the right question to ask when someone says, "What's your fee?" What if you had the right question to ask that added another $2,000 to every talk? That's it. Just another $2,000. The first talk, you pay for this system back, which is $1997. The first talk. Okay, so think about this like a prosperous-minded person who thinks, I don't want to. Okay, I just got a link. It's Speaker Match. Yeah, I'll just ask. It's speakermatch.com, like match, like matching speakers. Okay. But again, if you go to that website without the core content that's trained inside here, without our agreements and scripts and proposals and templates and all the things that we provide, you're not going to get the max value out of it. Okay, so that link is helpful. It's just a bonus for you. But again, you need the tools. That's the reason why we put the program together. So we totally believe in our stuff. Okay. Just so you know. All right. Good, Nicole.
All right.
Okay, I have a cute question here from Jackie who says, how do you recommend practicing? I've heard people talk about speaking in front of a mirror. Is that really what we should do?
Yeah, so the ways that again, nothing against Toastmasters or any other associations, but you'll have these speakers that are like, here's how you practice your speaking. You stand in front of a mirror and you give your talk, or some people will say, stand in front of a camera and give your talk. Don't do any of those. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Here's how you practice your talk. You know how you practice your talk? You go give it. Okay, go find a meetup group, go to Speaker Match, go to our top 100 meeting planner list, find a group to go talk to and give a talk. And I'm telling you, it's the best way to practice. And if you don't want to do that first, here's the next thing you do. Turn your camera around or put it on a stand, hit Facebook Live and start speaking to an audience, because there's nothing like, you could look at a mirror all day and you'll never get good, but the moment you look into a camera and you actually start talking to real people, your acceleration as a speaker goes off the charts, okay? So speak to actual real people, and that's the fastest way to practice.
Yeah, and we've got a couple more strategies we teach inside the program. I like to have my camera on a stand turned on, even if it's not doing anything, just so I can see myself when I speak on the phone. I remember Remember to smile, for example. Good. So know that the number of slots available is decreasing quickly. So make sure you just click on that link and get inside the program and check out. And let's have some more questions here. I know there were boom. I know, here's a quick one that I just saw pop up. Freddie, and I saw your order, Freddie, for Create and Profit. He says, what's the difference between Create and Profit and Speak and Profit? So Create and Profit is how to turn your speaking, your products, your books, anything that you do, your knowledge, wisdom, experience, and expertise into a digital product you can sell. Speak and Profit is how to speak, to sell, and that could be digital products, online or offline. So it's a completely different training. So create is the key word. Create and Profit is, again, all about how to create products and then create automated marketing systems that sell them for you. Great
just
question.
so you know,
Thank you.
Eddie from Canada, I'm just checking to make sure that this is right, but he said, hey, I'm in Canada, how do I get the slides? So when you click the button on the right, that shows you the page where you can go, Eddie, to enroll in the course.
Yep, click on that button.
Click that button, but when you scroll to the bottom, past all the payment options and everything at the bottom, there's an orange button that says click to download presentation slides, and the slides are right there.
Yep.
Cleverly placed at the bottom of the most important page of your day.
Right,
today.
so click the Get It Now button. That'll open up the page.
And then Get It Now.
Scroll down, order our program, and then get the slides. Okay,
that's the
great.
order. That's the order to do. So
I love that.
We needed to put it on an important page, and that's the most important page. All right.
Fantastic. So thank you for that. That's awesome.
Hey, Oren, here's the reason why I'm standing in front of the monitor, because we're answering your questions. This is the same slide. Anytime I need to talk about the slide, I'll move over here, okay? So, just so you know.
There we go.
Doing that on purpose.
You can see the whole view. When you click that orange button, it'll open up a brand new window, and you can see the whole view. Good
All
one.
right. So,
I love
thank
you, Oren.
to so many of you who are ordering right now. We appreciate you. There are a few more spots left to come and do one-on-one coaching with Mike and I, so now's the time to do it. And I think that we have some sort of a timer going on this too at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what I'll do is we've got a couple. Yeah, we've got some packages left. So get in there.
By the way,
now.
it's guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? 30 days. Give it a shot. Nicole, what else we got? I think we have a few more questions, and then we'll wrap up with talking about all the stuff you get in the product, and then we'll close it up. Good.
Great. I think some people actually had questions about the guarantee, so we'll talk about that a little later. But what if I'm not a writer or a speaker? We've got an engineer on chat, and he's asking, I basically almost failed every English class. How does it work for people that are like engineers, not normally known for being good speakers? How can it help them?
Great. Well, he flunked kindergarten. I barely passed high school, never went to college. He's the smart guy here. But what I'll tell you is, speaking is simply a matter of understanding that there is a system and a mechanism for telling stories in a structured order with an outcome in mind, whether that is just being paid, model one, being able to sell coaching or be able to sell books, or to do, as we were saying, platform speaking, where you speak and you sell. So what is important is we give you the structures and examples of those, and we give you the slides, we give you the templates, and we show you how to get and book deals. Any one of the modules is worth more than the entire investment in this program. So again, you can mix and match and use only the pieces and parts you want or you need. You can go through it, but what I can assure you is if all you do is just go through Ed's language patterns and how he gets and closes and gets on stages, that's going to more than pay for the entire program. But what is important, directly answering your question, is this is a system. It's something that's replicable and it creates repeatable results. And we've taught people who frankly didn't speak English very well, completely cold-handed, nervous, sweaty, who you'd think would never be able to do it. And they end up writing us later on and saying, I just closed a $5,000 deal. And you'll see examples of those in the community.
Yeah, I mean, like inside of the training, you'll see the one that we were just thinking of, she speaks with broken English, and she gets through that, and she connects with an audience, and it's powerful. I'm talking about powerful. Yep. And 5 minutes before, she was barely even speaking. And so I'll go back to one of the slides I said, which is this says, just be you. Like if you're nerdy in engineering, then just be you, okay? People will love you for it. Seriously, like just be exactly who you are.
Totally.
And the only thing you see is when speakers start becoming all, my wife calls this speakery, where they start like doing this with their hands, and they're like, they're like, what would you do with an extra $12,000 in your pocket? You're like, did you really just make your voice deeper? Be you. Just be you. What else you got, Nicole?
All right.
All right. Jennifer asks, I have a local business. I'm guessing it's kind of a mom and pop shop. How can speaking best work for me besides patting my ego?
Okay. Well, I think, first of all, using a business for getting gigs in a local environment is really, really easy. It's even easier if you're an author as well. But the more important thing is, look, this isn't about ego. It's about helping people and increasing your value and making more money and being able to charge more money. And so, again, we've got people from every walk of life. You'll see that as soon as you get inside the product, the types of people that we've trained and we've worked with. So we can help you no matter what industry, what business, what language you're in. This is adaptable to any country, anywhere in the world, all right? So we absolutely can help you. What else do you have, Nicole?
Sorry, I just walked out of it. I remember that I had promised to teach you something, so I just wrote that
well,
on the
we
board.
can do that. And then I'm going to chat with Davey here, because right now we're almost out of our 25.
So while you're doing that,
okay,
let me
go
just
ahead.
go over the whiteboard real quick, because I promised that I would answer these two questions. And so the first one, I'm not going to go into the detail that we do inside of the course, but I'm going to give you a general outline, because we have had some questions on that 10-minute talk, okay? And so the idea with a 10-minute talk is this. First of all, every group that has you in will want you to do at least something like this, and it's a good place to start. So for example, if you go to Meetup, you're going to want to be able to give a good, solid, and powerful talk in a short period of time that gets you clients. Very rare in a 10-minute talk to sell product during that, or even to sell books, but it's very common for you to seed the kind of consulting, okay? So just grab a pen, write this down. I'm going to do this fairly quickly. And again, there's more meat on this bone, but we can talk about that later, okay? So the first part is your intro. That's you just getting people's attention. The second part is called the body of your talk, okay? And the third part is called the close. Now, let's assume the close is about 30 seconds, and your intro is about 2 to 3 minutes, okay? And this body of your talk is typically about 7 to 8 minutes, just to give you a general gist of the things that you might speak about. When it comes to this particular talk, I'm just going to, again, give you just a general outline. The first thing you're typically going to do is you're going to tell a little story. That's about a 1 to 2 minute story. The model for this story is often called mess to success. And a lot of times it's a story about you. So for example, if you remember in the beginning of this presentation, and by the way, a little secret, this whole presentation that we just gave you is modeled off of our formula, the way that we typically create talks. So the beginning story, if you remember, I told a story about going out of control, and then I made a point about it that I said, look, this is a point about systems. And now this is when people go, yeah, but I'm not a fighter pilot. Yes, you do have stories. You have stories about how you overcame. You're playing high school sports, you're playing in college, okay, when you took a test, your favorite professor, someone who had an impact on your life, a story that someone told you that changed your life when you were camping and you got lost. I mean, there's 100 different stories you have in your life, but it's a tough time that led you to success, and then it brings you to a point which outlines the rest of your talk. The body itself, what we'll often do, and we did this today, is we'll teach some myths. These are things or lies that people have been led to believe. So for example, if I was speaking on health and fitness, I would talk about the myths you've been led to believe about health and fitness, and I would talk about all the diets that don't work, okay? And then I would teach my points, which are typically 1 or 2 things that people can walk away with and learn more. So today that was 4 ways to make money speaking. And then the close would just be something like, if you're interested in more information, here's how you can begin to work with us, okay? Now, when it comes to marketing, people ask about websites and sizzle reels. So here's what you typically want. You want a simple website that represents and brands you. It doesn't even need to have much on it except for a few pictures, something about you in the talks and how people can get a hold of you. Then you're going to want to have at least 1 social media outlet, okay, that is branded similar to your website. So it could be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Pinterest, whichever one works for you. And then the third one is eventually you should have some kind of video. Now you're not going to have that starting out because you don't have that many talks, but eventually you're going to have a few video clips that you put together in what's called a sizzle reel. Okay. The reason you need those things is because what will happen is a meeting planner will want to know, hey, what's your website? And when they go there, they're not going to hire you because of your website, but they might not hire you because of your website. So you just need that to look the part. So this is very, very simple when it comes to marketing. You don't need to have a big, huge email list or anything like that. It's just that. Okay. So I told you how to answer those questions. Back to you, Mike.
Okay. I had one question that popped up here, and this is from Kira, who joined us, by the way. And I want to give a shout out to some of the folks who've joined us. Freddie has joined us. Kira joined us. Linda joined us. Jay, Christian joined us. We have Jeremy in here. We've got Angela. So thank you for getting involved in Speak and Profit again. Make sure you say yes. So here's what happens when you join Speak and Profit. That is a digital program. Now, we are bonusing a one-day coaching here in the studio. Now, what I will tell you is that after you check out, there is an opportunity to upgrade to join us in the studio for a live Speak and Profit event. In other words, just like the people who were involved when we created the product. So if you want to come into the studio for 3 days, immerse yourself in actually constructing your speech while you're here, presenting it and performing it in front of an audience, and getting comfortable on camera, walking away with a digital video version of your speech, and getting it promoted to our entire social audience. That is an upgrade option that is available when you check out. So it was just another way that you can actually spend more immersive time. So the bonus we have with the digital is 1 day here with Ed and I. That one is strictly we're working on your business. So,
all right. So
yes.
As we're going again, welcome. I just looked at the upgraded the list or updated the list. Thank you to those who are joining us.
This is great.
Now's the time to get in. We're going to take just a few more questions, and then what happens as far as the bonus days, we're not too sure after that. And so just to get in, and you want to do that. And there are some questions about this 1 day. The bottom line is we have days set aside. Okay, over the next, say, 6 months, that you can come to do the training here in San Diego, but you got to get into the system to be able to
right on.
To do that.
And again, it's a bonus. So for some reason you absolutely couldn't make it, it's a bonus. We still do our regular monthly training, but it's different. It's not immersive. It's not with Ed and I directly. And again, frequently people are coming here and they're walking out having already closed a deal. We've seen that happen before because we're teaching you hands-on what's working now. And you know what? The way I look at it is, if you want to compress 30 days into 1 day, that's why you want to spend time with us in person.
All right. One just an administrative question, by the way. Thank you for the questions. This helps us clarify things specifically regarding this product. And I'll tell you, as a speaker, you're going to want to, when you speak, you're going to go, whatever happens, you'll go to the back and people will ask you questions. Pay attention to the questions that people ask you, because they're going to help you clarify your talk and your offer, okay? And so that's one of the reasons why we like doing these kind of webcasts, because when you ask questions, it helps us get better. So for example, one of the questions was, will I get a receipt after ordering? Let me just walk you through the order process. First thing you do is you click that little yellow button on the right-hand side, yellow, orangey kind of button. It'll take you to a page that has a fuller discussion of the product. You're going to scroll down and select one of two payment options. It's either 3 pay of $727 or a single pay of $1997, which is an amazing deal, by the way. Okay, and so you're going to pick one of those. You're going to go to a second page where you're going to enter your details into that page. Now, at the moment that order processes, several things all happen at once. So first of all, once it processes, you will get sent an order confirmation and a receipt, but you'll also get sent an email that has a login to our membership site, which you now have access to. You will also get sent information about our Facebook community, which you also have access to. Now, we didn't really talk very much about that community, but you're going to get access to actually all of those things. So you'll get your order confirmation, you'll get the membership site, but you'll get the Facebook community, which means you can start right now inside of the training. In fact, some of the folks, I guarantee you, some of the names that we just read, Angela, Freddie, Jeremy, Christian, Linda, Kira, Joyce, some of those folks right now are actually there. They're inside the membership portal, actually beginning the training. So so you getting to making money as a speaker, now that time significantly decreased. So you get right into the system, and then you get into the membership community, and then you come here to San Diego as a total extra option. But you should come to San Diego. Mike and I get to work with you one-on-one, and we get to accelerate your profit and productivity. Now, our ultimate goal, let me just tell you what our ultimate goal is for you, besides, like world domination, is you heard the story today of at least 4 different people. You heard Trisha's story, you heard Mike Semmel's story, you heard Jim House's story, and you heard Wes Matea's story. All of those folks have had successes because of the things that we taught. Now, it wasn't 100% because of what we taught, because they had to go and implement it, but they will attribute their success to something they learned from us. Our ultimate goal from you isn't that you just go invest in this course. That's like what we hope you do first. Our ultimate goal is that you invest in the course, you come here to San Diego, but whether or not you come to San Diego, you implement what's in the course, you go off and see success, and then you send us your story so that we can celebrate the success that you've had. Are you kidding me?
Well, and more importantly, I want to make you famous. I mean, when we promote our audience, I put, and this is very common, I mean, we picked some people who came through the original Speak and Profit who are speaking at our next event. And we have people who've gone through our programs who we end up incorporating in our next programs and products, because anyone who's an implementer gets our attention. Anyone who's out there getting and closing and making and doing deals. Look, we don't invent all this stuff. The reason why we're good at it is because in our programs we've got very vibrant, abundance-minded communities, and everyone's sharing their best practices. So this isn't just about the course. It's about exposure. It's about access. It's about learning together and actually making the world a better place and sharing your message and making some money while you do it.
And this is my favorite part of the webcast, where the orders start rolling in.
Oh, yeah, this is awesome.
Thank you. I just saw another whole group. So we're getting to the point.
We got Kim and Theodore and Joyce. This is awesome. Congratulations for getting in here.
Push the button. It's guaranteed cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
You can try it out. If it doesn't work for you, which is totally rare, you can still send it back, or however you send back. You can email us back. But listen, that doesn't normally happen. What happens is people go, yeah, I'll just give it a try. They get in, you get blown away, you start seeing results, and you're part of our community forever, because the people in our community take care of each other, okay?
Right.
All right.
So, and just so you know what happened earlier, what we did, I was texting in the background with Davey, who runs our operations, and we actually allocated another block of 10 seats for the live event. He went ahead and he looked at our calendar. So Ed and I are making some additional seats available so you can get in before we run out today. So get inside the program. As long as you get in before the end of this program, we're going to make sure that we've got seats available for that bonus one day, okay?
Yeah, and someone just in text, by the way, said the bonus is not extra. Okay, you coming here for one day to San Diego, that is totally a addition. I mean, you got to get here, right? So, but like, once you get here, the entire day, we typically go from 9 to 5. That is a day to roll up our sleeves and have a good time and learn a lot about business. Normally, we do like a little wine and cheese thing at the end of it, actually, which is totally on us. So that bonus is additional and extra. There are some follow-on trainings. There's other things, obviously, that we do besides Speak and Profit. So if you saw another page that has another training, that's totally different than that one day that we're talking about, which is a total extra bonus for this program. All right.
Okay. I've got a quick question that friend asked, which is how to target parents. So I'm just going to do a generic one, and I'm going to go back to Nicole.
As customers is what we're talking about.
Friend. Okay, so here's the question. How to target parents? Well, you target associations and events that parents are in the audience, okay? You never want to try to marketing to like a school, for example. You don't want to market to kids. You want to market to organizations that already have a big audience of parents who want to do something. So Nicole, what other questions do we have? And let's make sure we put the phone number up. If you have any questions, feel free to pick up the phone, give us a call. Nicole is going to be able to answer any questions that you have. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay, and I think friend's name was Jennifer too, so she's been asking a lot of questions. So thank you, Jennifer, for that. So Jason is in. He's just concerned, is there a continuity or a monthly charge, anything like that?
Yeah, well, the answer is no. This is a one price to get access to it. You get access to the entire program, which is digital. You get immediate access, so you can log right in. Then you can join the Facebook community where we do additional trainings, and you can work with other people and post your videos. And of course, we're giving you the other bonuses as well. So we're giving you all the tools, all the resources you need to get in there. And no, there isn't an additional fee.
Man.
Good question.
Should be. So we'll get in before there's an additional fee. How about that? No, I'm just kidding. Just enroll now. And by the way, we are running out of coaching days. That's not to say that we couldn't get you into another one, but now's the time to enroll.
Right on.
Click the button. And we're about to wrap up here as well. And once we get done and the promotion is over, no guarantees on where the price goes either, because this is a great deal. All right, Nicole.
Yeah, those coaching days are amazing. 2 people closed deals during the break, so
oh, fantastic! That's so great. All right,
The guarantee, can you, one more time, guys, can you explain the guarantee for anybody that's on the fence?
Yeah, I'll take that. And here it is. It's really simple. We've been in business. I've been in business for over 11 years. Mike's been in business for 20, I don't know how long, a long time.
I've been doing 30 years, yeah.
There's people who are in business for a year and then disappear off the face of the earth who don't honor their customers, okay? And this is just really simple. We only want you to have a program that you are going to work and the program is going to work for you. Right. And we don't make the decision on that, you do. I mean, this is really important. We believe this system will blow you away. And we believe this system has already been proven to work in the lives of the people who have been trained. Some of them have come here to our one-day training. We've got actual agreements, actual checks, real pictures of them standing up and speaking. So real proof that the system works. But we're going to take a step back and not be the judge of that. We're going to let you be the determiner of that. So it's really simple. You click the button, you choose an enrollment option, you get into the system. You start trying some things out, start implementing. You've got 30 days to give it a shot. If for some reason you feel like it's not working for you or it's not a right fit for you, again, that's really rare. But if that happens, you just send us an email, you get a full refund, and we can still be friends, okay? So we understand that this is all part of the business, but it's our way to show you that we're willing to let you be the determiner of whether or not something's going to work for you. And our feeling is, like most people who get into the system, you might be a little skeptical, but when you get in and start using it, you're going to go, wow, this stuff actually really works. Right. And you'll make some money, and you'll start building your list and having fun and sharing a message and connecting with people, and you'll see value, and you'll be part of our community for a really long time, which is what usually happens. Ask Andy Falco.
Yeah,
sitting here.
We've got a whole bunch of people who come back, and even Freddie. He came back. He's invested in 2 courses today while he's watching because he knows that we've provided value, and he's been building his platform as well. So I want to give a big shout out to just some of the people who've invested in the program, like Kim and Theodore and Joyce and Linda, Freddie, Kira, Linda, Jay, Jeremy, Angela, Colleen, and Heidi, and the list keeps on going on. So thank you, and make sure you get in before the timer runs out, before we run out of these seats for the special bonus as well. So with that, Ed Rush, again, to get the slides, click on that orange button. Go to the bottom of the page. You can download them there. That'll give you some additional resources. But just get inside this program. Remember, we're covering you. We're giving you a guarantee. And we're here to support you, to help you build and grow your platform so you can share your message and make some more money at the same time. What else you got
I
here?
realize this is behind me, but I'm just going to go back real quick, and I'm just going to show you everything that you get inside of the program, just remind you of some of the things that you're getting. And then what we'll do is maybe take 1 or 2 last questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So first of all, you get everything inside of the Speak It Profit system, including Build, Prepare, and Profit. Again, this is a system like every other system you've taken that teaches you how to actually build a speaking business or grow your business. But unlike the other systems, this is actually a done with you or a done for you system where we provide all of the tools, all the training, all the scripts, all the performance tools like keynotes and agreements. So when a meeting planner calls you on the phone and asks you what your fee is, you have a really good answer to that gets them to tell you how much they're going to pay you. But in addition to that, you get the transcripts, the action books, the MP3s, and all of the audio. So some of you like to listen on the go. Some of you want to watch. Some of you like to read. Okay, I like to do all 3. So you get that, so you're totally covered. And then you get everything you need to run a seamless speaking business. This took me about 8 years to put together, by the way. This is a speaking treasure chest, including scripting, emails that you can send to meeting planners, all the proposals and agreements. So for example, when you're on a call with a meeting planner and that pre-call, and they're asking you about all of the audiovisual stuff, and you're asking them about the event, I'm going to give you a list of about 20 questions that you just go through that list, fill in the blanks, and they will think you're the most professional speaker they've ever talked to, simply because of the way that you're asking those questions, and all that's done for you. Again, it took me about 8 years to build that, and then once I built it, I handed it to our students who first came through Speak and Profit, and they had it, and it took them about 30 seconds to get it. Okay, so there's a long way and a short way. The long way is the cheap way, and the short way is the way where you invest in yourself, but the short way typically means you make money faster, okay? And you help more people, which is the reason why you're doing this. Then you get the bonuses, like Get Promoted plus the 100 Meeting Planner Directory. You get Charity Change, bonus number 2, bonus number 3, How to Look Great on Stage, bonus number 4, Fanatical Fans. Mike might even teach you how to get money shoes, okay? Bonus number 6 is Hooked. Bonus number 7 is the Facebook Live Coaching on a monthly basis. And then we get into our super bonuses, which you get the live event, And then you get our biggest bonus ever, which is you come to San Diego with a small group of folks. That actually was our little wine tasting party that we had afterwards. But typically we just have a little get together afterwards, but we really roll up our sleeves. We get to know you, get to know your business, connect with you on a personal level, and try to help get you to the next level. And again, we do high level coaching, $30,000 or more. I mean, we've done coaching together in the $30,000 to $70,000 range, and you get this as a bonus, which is totally cool. Okay, typically very small groups that work together, and you determine from this list or from any other list what we actually work on. We believe the bonus is worth way more than the system combined. In fact, when you come to the studio, normally the events are $5,000 or more. And this, like I said, a private coaching day normally does that. But now's the time to register. We are running out. This is the entire system. I'll give you the price in just a second. I do want to answer one question, which I'll get to, which some of you have asked about what happens. But this is the entire system, all of the bonuses, everything, including you get coached. Come and get coached with us bonus and all of that. So just one question. I know some of you have been asking. The single day bonus to come to San Diego and work with Mike and I is a bonus. There's no charge for that at all, okay? There are other programs where you come to the studio and you work for 3 days or 2 or 3 days. Those programs typically have a price tag attached to them. So I already told you, those are typically in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. So there's a chance as you see the website or you see other things, for example, as you go through the checkout sequence, those are additional events. The one day though, you're good. The moment you invest in the program at $19.97 or 3 investments to $727, you totally get that 1 day coaching. That's as a bonus to the program. Anything more than 2 days, typically there's an investment, but those are other programs.
Right on. And one more time, to get the slides, click on the orange button, scroll to the bottom. There's a link that you can click on and get it right there. So this
ready
is
to
great.
land this airplane?
I certainly am. So what you can do is, as long as you get inside here before we end, you can take advantage of this bonus.
Look at all the people coming into this program. That's actually kind of cool.
That is.
Hey, it shows you that the stuff we're doing actually works.
Right on.
So I'm just saying, if you want to look, and this is speaking.
And we want to show you how to do it too.
We're going to take you behind the scenes. We're actually going to show you even all the system stuff that we use here when we're doing webcasts as well. When you come to that one day. So any other questions, last minute stuff, Nicole, that you've got, or are we?
Yeah, the ideal length of a speech. Some people are wanting to know, and then just how it helps building a list. So if you guys have time to speak to those.
Well, we talked about. So here's the thing. Like Mike's, like I just mentioned, we not only do we teach you things, but these are things that we're continually doing. So if you asked us a year ago, how we build a list speaking versus now it's totally different. And actually, during this training, we showed you some of the tools that we're using to build lists while speaking. But when you get inside of Speak and Profit, we've got I don't know, 5 or 6 different ways that you can build your list while speaking. And I'll show you one of the most effective ways I've used with groups of 50 or less, and it involves no technology at all except for a pocket. Okay. Yep. So again,
and with regards to the duration, the best duration is short as possible and as long as necessary. But we start with a 10-minute framework because I'll give you an example. This book and this book first began as 10-minute speeches that I expand into 50-minute speeches. And then there are things that I've been called on, asked to speak and present in front of audiences, but they became books as well. So I like to say I like to make a speech a book and a book a speech. But we go through the framework, and it's something that you can model, you can adapt, and again, evolve into anything that you want.
All right.
So what's important is get inside the program right now. And as John Assaraf says, are you interested or are you committed? This is for committed people who want to make a difference, make more money, change some lives, grow a brand, and create a movement, because that's what it takes these days. To be an influencer and to become a celebrity in your niche, you've got to speak. It's as simple as that. This is the most lucrative skill in the world. Ed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at the orders coming in now, and I'm just showing you the models that we're going to teach you work, and we're showing that to you again.
Right.
And so just a couple things. First of all, we're going to wrap this up in just a few minutes. I've got like 2 more points, but now's the time to get in. Okay, so as you're listening to us, click that yellow button, get inside of the system. Don't forget that it's totally guaranteed, which means you've got a month to try everything, test everything out. You've got a 3 pay that comes all the way down to $727, so you get to come in for less than $300 or $700, which is, or less than $730, which is an amazing deal. Okay, Andy Falco says he's committed. Love that.
Yeah, I love that.
But you get in, and once you get into the system, you can immediately start implementing and getting to know the members of the community, and starting now with the folks that you're already seeing, like Julie and Freddie and Susan. Okay, so make sure that you get in. Mike and I are very committed to you, and we're committed to seeing you become one of our success stories, so that we can get to know you and learn from you. Now, it all comes down to this. There's really one of two ways. If you're on this portion of the training right now, there's no question you're interested in sharing your message and getting paid for it. You wouldn't have been here with us that long if that wasn't you. The question is which way you're going to go. Okay, there is a long road. That, frankly, is the road that we took to try to build all this stuff and to figure all this stuff out and to answer enough questions and talk to enough meeting planners. Like, you know what the average meeting planner does? They don't tell you no. They don't tell you they're not booking you. You just never hear from them again. And so if you've ever talked to someone on the phone and been talking about a deal but you never hear from them, something happened on the phone that turned them off, and you'll never know because they never tell you. They don't go, yeah, I was going to book you until you said this. They never tell you. Okay, so you could go years, 5, 10, 15 years with a big question mark trying to figure out why you haven't booked all the deals that you had to book, or you can simply have a system that you can look at and go, if I just do this, I know that I'm giving myself the best shot, and if for some reason it works or it doesn't work, it's because I gave myself the best shot. Okay, so there is a reason why we're putting all this stuff together in a cut and paste sort of done for you, scripted out system with all the tools and agreements. I mean, shoot. Sometimes you can send an agreement out, and because of the way the agreement's written, the person won't send it back because then they get a little bit nervous. Man, is this person going to be okay when they're up on my stage? There's things that you need on your website that you probably don't have right now that we're going to show you what to put on your website. And so for, $1997, $2,000 or 3 pay of $727, that, if you just get one deal for $2,500, you pay for the whole thing and everything is yours to keep. And in my opinion, that's a prosperous way to think about something. That's the reason why I've always invested in courses like this, because I practice what I preach, okay? So now is a great time to get off the fence and invest in yourself. Think about the people that you're going to miss out on communicating to, who you need to hear your message if you don't. Man, that's about it. If that's not enough, I don't know what I can do. But listen, you guys have been amazing. I appreciate all the questions. Now is a great time to get into the system, and we're going to run out of bonuses too. And I know we've got literally a minute and a half left here. So, Mike.
All right. Well, I think Ed summarized it perfectly. We're here to help you build and grow that audience that you're looking for, and you wouldn't have shown up if your life was perfect right now. This is the missing piece that you're looking for that's going to help you build and grow your audience and make more money and learn a skill set that you're going to have for the rest of your life. We've got a community, we've got additional support. You're never going to get a better deal than we're giving you today. You're never going to get a better bonus than we're giving today. And if anything, we're going to charge more money and make this even more exclusive. So now is the time to make that decision. Click that button, get inside the program, and we can't wait to not only see what you do inside the program. I want to meet you both in our training on Facebook, inside the product, inside the Facebook community, and also have a chance to meet you and shake your hand or give you a giant California-style hug when you come to our studio here. But right now is the time to get in. So you've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. We also have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try the system out, make sure it works for you, and share with us the successes that you have with the program. So that's what I got, man.
That's good. Get off the fence, jump into the program. Mike and I are looking forward to seeing you inside of Speak and Profit.
All right, so the next step for you then is to get your own money shoes. All right, can't wait to see you here in San Diego and also see you inside the program.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.